Well, it's a new era for Area. It's a new era for the IDK Player YouTube channel. A new era for multiple viewers watching back at home that love this series as much as the drivers that are getting ready to qualify for the big event, the Area 500, which will be live just a week from today. I'm John Ramos saying hello, saying welcome. A little bit under the weather, not as much as it was maybe, let's say, Friday. But if you all know from all the social media buzz, all the excitement we saw, yes, Area will be having its full Cup Series season on the IDK Player YouTube channel. 60 drivers getting ready to qualify, single car qualifying at that, before heading on out to 30-lap duels before ending the night and finding out who the drivers are that'll be racing in the Area 500. I'm John Ramos. On pit road, we'll have Hunter Sleppy. Sleppy, how are you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's been a long off season for Area. Glad to kick things off for, hard to believe, its 7th season already, trying to crown a new Area 500 champ or potentially the first ever 3-time champion with either Seth Null or Travis Beckner.
Oh, going to be a lot of fun to see. So you got the stats, you got the understanding kind of all down. Heading into qualifying, it's a little bit different. For the viewers back at home, if you followed Area, you know these drivers very well. Left side of your screen, you see the ones that have already put down some type of practice time. But for new viewers back at home, you may be learning these names for the first time. Who in Area would you say is the most well-known driver?
Obviously, it would have to be Jake Nichols. He's been here since season 2. He's won quite a few championships. The amount of wins he's gotten is unbelievable. Also, one name to keep an eye out for is Jake Matheson, the defending season 6 Cup champion, who actually is listed as an open car. So he was let go from his previous team and the new team that reformed from Slinger Racing Graphic Esports. They did not choose to bring him back, so he is listed as an open car, so it's going to be interesting seeing him try to defend the championship as an open driver this season.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to see. I mean, there's less than 8 minutes remaining before we go single car qualifying, so we'll kind of dive into that just for a moment. 1 lap, that's all they have to go ahead and put down a time. Every driver goes out. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk with teammates and drivers, and then they get separated into 2 duels. You get Duel 1, you get Duel 2. They're both 30 laps each. The big thing is you got drivers that are locked in because Area has charters, and then you have drivers that have to race their way in that are open drivers. And the big news, the defending champion has to race his way in. He's an open driver for Season 7.
Yeah, it should be fun trying to navigate that way through. Also got a couple other notables here as an open car. Connor O'Kresick, he was on the team last season, and since then he's listed as an open driver. No one chose to pick him up. Same with Travis Beckner. Kind of shocking to see him, a 2-time Area 500 champion, looking to make it 3. Also got Bryce Senesac, the second duel winner from last season in a chaotic finish. And then we got some notable rookies here like Nate Stewart and Jacob Brower, both reserve drivers for their respective teams. Ryan Dunkelberger, DJ Cummings, Ford Martin, Jacob Emery. I mean, the list goes on and on of guys who are listed as an open car. Even Justin Sogak, he has a Pro Series win here at Daytona from a few seasons ago. And Dwayne Culberson as well. He's got almost 60 Cup starts. It will be Cup start number 60 if he can race his way into the Area 500. And Kwami Scott as well, known on the scene. He lost to Jake Nichols in a photo finish by about 2/1000ths of a second to Jake Nichols back at Charlotte last season.
It's going to be interesting. You mentioned a good amount of solar flare drivers. What's great about Area is you have drivers that don't just race on the sim. They also race in person. You know what? Let's go ahead and chime in with one of those drivers before we go green. Let's go ahead and chat with, I like this idea right here. How about Barrett Polhemus? Polhemus, John Ramos. Are we at Winchester? Are we at Owasso? No, I think we're here at Daytona.
The first part of that got cut off, man. You're going to have to say that again. All I heard is Winchester and Daytona, but I can confirm we are not at Winchester or Owasso. We are at the, albeit virtual, Daytona International Speedway. What's going on?
It's going pretty good for us. Sim to reality, that's really a reality for a lot of drivers working their way up the chain. You, a pro late model racer. A, how does it feel to come in, be back with Area, and B, does racing on the sim get you ready for anything that you can work with in person, including around a stout field like you have tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's real good to be here in the Area Cup Series, rookie season. It's a really, really stout field. I'm looking forward to all of it. I mean, even just in practice, I could already tell there was a step up in the competition. Even though, I mean, we were just having pit parties and kind of messing around, but I mean, the level of skill that was already on display was pretty evident. And stuff like this really does help me prepare for whenever I go race in the real world. It doesn't always translate one-to-one, but there's lots of different ways that I can go about training for something. Like if I'm going to go race at Berlin, like Oxford Plains and Hickory are very good tracks to go run the late model stock in. And then even it's probably preparing me now for stuff I don't even know about. Like if I'm lucky enough to make it up into the NASCAR ranks, then all the sim work that I've been doing over the past, I mean, however many years I've been on the service, it's I'd imagine it's going to pay its dividends sooner or later.
You're one of the rookies here in area. You're racing with Powerhouse Racing. You look at this schedule and you obviously hone in on Daytona because that's the one that really everybody wants to win. They want to win the Area 500, but there's a lot of racing. There's 17 weeks of racing. What are you really looking at and saying, yes, this is a track that I think I can enter the playoffs with? This is an opportunity to go out there and win or at least get a nice showing.
I mean, generally speaking, for the whole season, I'm approaching this kind of how I approach my real life stuff. I'm just going to go out there and do everything in my power to deliver the best result that I possibly can. If I can focus on that, then it'll be a good result 10 times out of 10, whether we finish 28th or end up winning the race. Yeah. As long as the effort is there from my end, and I know that I left it all out there on the track, then I'll be okay. Now, I will be aiming to make the playoffs this season. As far as like specific tracks to do that in, I don't really have a specific one. I kind of like my chances everywhere. Obviously, I mean, it's a really stacked field. I don't expect to go out there and set the world on fire right away, but hopefully I can learn something from these guys, especially guys like Clampett and Nate running today. Lots of Coke drivers, former Coke drivers, very, very talented people that hopefully can lead me to the promised land.
Well, it's going to be very fun to see. You got a long night ahead. You got single car qualifying, little waiting around, and it's going to be all time for the duels. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Now, Hunter, I did briefly mention the schedule. Let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Daytona, then we go to Homestead, New Hampshire, Indianapolis, Watkins Glen. The schedule looks pretty good, but for the new viewers that are watching, there's playoffs. How does the playoffs work?
Yeah, so the playoffs, it's a mesh of real-life playoffs with how they work. We eliminate drivers in groups of 4. So there's 12 total drivers that go into the playoffs. Each one of them has a good chance at winning the championship, but they got to make through the first 2 races. So we have 3 rounds, 2 races for the first 2, and then the last one is the championship round. So Bristol and Nashville are the opening playoff races in the opening round, and after that we'll eliminate the bottom 4 drivers. And then the next 2 at Las Vegas and Auto Club should be some fun races over there. We eliminate the field from 8 playoff drivers down to 4, and then the final 4 go for the championship at Charlotte, in which, like I mentioned last season, we had a great photo finish between Kwami Scott and Jake Nichols, and could be 2 1,000ths of a second separating someone from becoming a champion and becoming the runner-up.
Oh, gonna be a lot of fun to see. Just over a minute left here of practice. You're looking at the 20 Orion Swan, Rick Hot Sauce there on the car. Beautiful looking scheme. Oh my goodness. Love the look of just like that teal, and then you got the pink. Rick's Hot Sauce, a big sponsor here of area, heading into single car qualifying. What to expect, what not to expect. We're looking at this field. We can expect great racing nonetheless, but at the same time, who misses the show that you think most would understand of saying, oh, they could for sure make it on in?
Oh, everyone's got a fair shot at making it, especially the rookies that are coming in. We don't know who's going to be standing out from the bunch. But if 2 rookies or 2 open cars do manage to qualify into the front 2 spots, they would be locked into the field automatically. So we already have 36 charter drivers, so 7 open spots, and we have a plethora of open drivers trying to lock their way in. Should be fun qualifying session.
I'm looking at right now, out of the 60 drivers at least on the entry list, 46 have set down a time. Currently top of the board. It's all Philip. Then you got Nichols and you got Null up there in that top 3. Jake Nichols, I'm really excited to see what he can do. Tyler Nichols going P2. But it's that time where we get ready for that single car qualifying effort. For the ones watching back at home, how is it going to work? Pretty simple. You put one car out on the track. They get one lap to go put down a time. Well, following that, we're going to continue to interview drivers, give you updates on where everyone is kind of on track. And it's going to be a beautiful night to see it. This is just to make the Area 500. Now, the Area 500 is not 500 miles. It is 100 laps, and it will be live, yes, a week from today on this YouTube channel. So you're not going to want to go ahead and miss that nonetheless. First driver gets ready to go ahead and head out onto the speedway. If I'm not mistaken, well, just hold on now, because they're still going ahead and trying to get those drivers to line on up in just a matter of moments. But Area Cup Series, once again, 17 rounds of racing. You got the playoffs beginning at week 13. Here we are. It's time for Daytona, and we're ready to rock and roll. I'm excited for Homestead following the Area 500. I think that can really shape some things up. You got New Hampshire, Indianapolis, Watkins Glen, North Wilkesboro, Darlington, Chicagoland with the next gen. It's been proven to be pretty good before, but just moments away from us to start the single car qualifying.
Yeah, Chicagoland hosted the season finale a few seasons back, and then Homestead, Miami wasn't on the schedule last year. Neither was New Hampshire or Watkins Glen. So 3 new tracks in the first 5 weeks of the season. It's going to be a bit of a shakeup because we got a super speedway we're starting out with at Daytona, then a 1.5 miles at Homestead, a mile flat oval in New Hampshire, then the 2.5 legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and then a road course. So it's quite a diverse schedule to shake things up for the beginning of the season.
We're waiting for Anna Sogak to head on to the speedway, so he has not made his way on. Currently on pit road, you got Ricky Springer. He's kind of just waiting around. So everyone has their exact time of when they're supposed to head on out. As of this moment, no one has head on to the speedway. You mentioned Homestead, not on the schedule last year, is on the schedule this year. Is there any reason why that was a change, and what track did it bump out?
So each offseason, there's different meetings that are held with the various team owners, and they vote on which tracks to keep, which tracks to vote out. I'm not sure specifically what tracks they voted out, but it was quite a plethora of them since we have 8 new different tracks on the schedule. I think that's a record for area. It's almost half the schedule just completely flipped up on itself, but we got some classics coming back like North Wilkesboro, Darlington for our Southern 500 weekend, Kansas. Obviously, you can't have a Cup season without Talladega. And then Bristol and Charlotte are the only 2 playoff races that stay as playoff races. The other 3 were switched up.
And we did just see the last moment of Justin Anasogak putting down his time was in a different session. So with there being over 60 drivers, should we say, iRacing splits them up 30 drivers in one session, 30 drivers in a second. Unfortunately, missing that one, but dropping down a best of 49, 5-2-1. And Anasogak first one to put down a time. Currently on the speedway, you got Dylan Alt.
Yeah, Dylan Alt, one of the newer drivers coming through the area. He's on a different team. I'm trying to look him up. He's on Solid Rock Performance, so he replaces Ryan Hartz in the 3, because that is the number. Well, don't think he's running the 3. I think Brad Slar's in the 3, but that's the driver he's replacing. Ryan Hartz did run the 3 for Solid Rock Performance. He replaces him. He's on a team with only Matthew Bell that's returning from Season 6. Got a couple of rookies coming up from the Truck Series, and John Hall and Patrick Moose, and Dylan Alt looking to be atop of the Solid Rock Performance team chart.
Yeah, and the viewers on this channel know exactly who Dylan Alt is. Just about a year ago, he actually raced the 2.4 hours at Daytona on the Enter Night in America side. Really gained a nice following on that end. Watching John Hall, you just mentioned, coming up from the Truck Series, working his way to the Area Cup Series. Love that 03, love that look. And all these drivers, this is an opportunity to hear a little bit about them, see a little bit about them, because for some of them, they might only run a partial schedule, whether they got a charter or not. Others, it's an opportunity to run the whole season. I mean, we just talked with Barrett Polhemus. He said, hey, I'm heading into this like I do the entire year. I want to run well at Daytona. I want to win at Daytona, but that doesn't mean we're going to go out of our way and win. So we got to think about race 2 the same way we would race 1, even race 3 and race 4.
I believe that's his teammate John Hall, so that's one of the newcomers for Solid Rock Performance coming up from the Truck Series. Across his 32 truck starts, he's got 8 wins spreading from Season 5 and Season 6, so 25% of his starts ended in him going to victory lane, so looking for Solid Rock to kind of keep that performance up, along with Matthew Bell, really kind of the head honcho over there, just trying to lead the group and lead these rookies on to success.
Watching on, this is Shane Williamson on for his single car qualifying effort. Great crowd watching back at home. You are watching single car qualifying for the Area 500. After this, we'll have both the duels, and following the duels a week from today. That'll be on March 3rd, the Area 500. All the Enter Night in America fans, all the IDK Player YouTube channel viewers wondering, well, Monday night, what's going on? Are we supposed to be streaming on a Tuesday? One, no stream tomorrow. Only stream so far is Area. And for the next, give it 20 weeks? Every Monday night we'll be streaming Area, and you're not going to want to miss it at all, because it is going to be one fun showing. We do have the e-ticket on March 7th. That is still the World Grand Prix. Next Gen's at Le Mans. But as of this moment, all eyes on Area. You're watching Jacob Brower work his way onto the speedway.
Jacob Brower coming through. Looking through, he's listed as a reserve driver for Triforce Racing. So what that means for being a reserve driver, in case one of the charter drivers can't make it to the field, or if they can only run the first handful of races and then something comes up in their schedule, they can then flip in the reserve driver for the team point standings, because at the end of the season, the team at the bottom of the team standings, they lose their charters, so you don't want that to happen. We had that happen last season via Swan Motorsports. They finished dead last in the team standings, and because of that, their charters were up for grabs, and we have a new team coming in to replace them. It's not Triforce Racing, but that is why we have reserve drivers in the area for all 9 chartered teams.
Let's go ahead and talk here with Dylan Alt. He currently sits P2. Alt, John Ramos, you got a copy.
What's up?
Kind of just threw you in there. Whoa, so sorry about that. No, I'm just kidding. So, hey, you're here with Area. You've raced on this YouTube channel before. 1, welcome back. Number 2, how excited are you for the Area 500?
I'm actually pretty excited. I feel like this is a very fun league to be a part of. I know I have a lot of teammates in here that wanted me to be in this league, so I'm excited to run this. I know my key lap wasn't too great in my opinion. My teammate John Hall ended up beating me out by 2,000, so I feel like I'm gonna pull down my order since we got some heavy hitters in qualifying, but I feel like it should be fun.
Gonna be really cool to see Sam Brochu currently on the racing surface. Out of all these drivers, who do you think has a chance to knock you out? We know you want to stay on the front row, but you're not number 1, you're number 2. Just talking about your teammate just getting in front of you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't do many laps of practice. I'm not really a super speedway guy, but I feel like Clampett, Jake Nichols, also I know Brad Slaughter Jr. is pretty good at plate racing, so I feel like they can keep a straight wheel.
All right, going to be a lot of fun to see. We're going to be talking and chatting with drivers all night long. Duels ahead. Good luck there. Hunter on track, Nate Stewart. If I'm not mistaken, Nate Stewart has worked his way up to the Coke Series.
He has, and he's making his debut in the area, although the rookie mark does not prescribe him as a rookie across iRacing itself, but just in area. He is listed as a reserve driver for Powerhouse Racing, so that's the team with Peyton Howell, who had a win last season. Blaze McKinney's had some solid stretches. He won in Indianapolis a couple years ago. And then you mentioned Barrett Polhemus and Sam Brochu, 2 rookies coming aboard, so 3 rookies overall for Powerhouse Racing, and Stewart, the reserve driver for that team.
I'm excited to see what he can do. I mean, for the viewers watching back at home that are probably new to Area, you might know who Nate Stewart is if you only watch NR Night in America. For the ones that watch everything iRacing, you've seen him before through Contender and Road to Pro and into the Coca-Cola iRacing series. He's made 1 attempt at an e-ticket. I believe that was back in 2022. But for Nate Stewart, an opportunity to rise the ranks, that being here in the Area Cup Series. Continue to wait for more drivers to head onto the racing surface. So currently looking at it. Brochu, top of the board. As of this moment, he went to the top when we were interviewing. Puts John Hall in second. Dylan Alt back to third. Nate Stewart in the Fast Four. All looking, Matthew Stolneck onto the Speedway. He used to actually work for NASCAR, for the ones that did not know. And worked his way from the North Carolina area. Still racing on iRacing. Love to see him. And if I'm not mistaken, not his first time racing in the Area Cup Series.
I can double check on that. I don't have any listed stats.
Not as a
for him
full-time
in
driver,
there.
if I'm not mistaken.
No, he might have tried to attempt this race a couple seasons back, but looking to shake things up. He is an open car. He is listed as a rookie, so just trying to get his footing set in and be one of the open drivers to lock their way into the Area 500 and see what they can do when it comes to race day.
Going to be a lot of fun to see what Stolneck can accomplish. Top of the board currently, it is Brochu. And we'll see if we can possibly chime in a word with him in just a matter of moments. Multiple drivers going out for their single car queue. That will be tonight. Then we'll have the duels once again for the ones just joining on in. We'll continue to monitor and talk with drivers as this night goes on. Still big names left to put down a time. And I mean, I'm looking up and down this list. You still got Okresic to go ahead and put down a time. Silver, we've seen him do great things in the past. Ford Martin, let's see what he can go ahead and do as well. Opportunity to at least get a good starting spot, including for these open drivers.
Absolutely. If you can get inside the top two, that'd be phenomenal for these open cars. But if not, then maybe inside the top 5 or top 10 would work for your respective duel that you're starting in. So always good to maximize your opportunity on the track.
Stolneck to the line. Out of 8 drivers, don't think he's going to go ahead and go top of the board. He goes P7. Let's talk to Brochu. Sam, great time. Let's see if it holds. Do you think it will?
Man, I have no idea. There's some crazy heavy hitters in there. I'm thoroughly shocked that I pulled that lap out. It didn't feel great. It didn't look great, but really I was top of the board, so I'll take it.
It had to be good enough for you to go top of the board, no doubt about it. But I mean, it was by, not much. I'm looking at the left side of my screen, and it's saying zeros across the board for the top 4. Super Speedway qualifying, what is kind of the mindset heading in, knowing that any little inch, maybe a slide up, it could be the difference between sitting top of the board or maybe even 7th on the list?
I mean, for me, I've never been great at Super Speedway qualifying, pretty much ever. Just leading up to this, I've gotten a lot of good coaching and, watching just different laps from different drivers, and it's taught me a lot. But, the mindset is literally just to go out and hit, it seems cliche, but literally a perfect lap. To keep it planted on the bottom, wrap it out of the corners, which you don't want to wrap it too much. There's all these little intricate details to put together a quick lap, and by the skin of my teeth, I managed to do that. So I'm quite excited right now, but it's definitely hard and stressful going into something like this, especially if it's your first time.
Great crowd watching back at home. Anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, just what's up, everybody? It's my first season here. I'm really excited. I'm thankful to Powerhouse and Ben Pierce over there to let me run chartered for his team this year. I'm just looking to put it in the playoffs this year. Hopefully we can make a championship run, but we'll see how it plays out.
Always exciting to hear what Sam Brochu can go ahead and accomplish as time continues to tick on for multiple drivers on the Speedway. Well, should we say for Brandon Kettle, his first time around, where does he go? Let's talk about it. P7. So multiple drivers already putting down a time, 11 at that. Still a lot to go, but we're starting to see the time stick very tight-knit. That top 8 separated by, I want to say, just in or around maybe 100th, maybe even less.
Yeah, the margin for error here is slim to none, so the times, they're only going to get closer and closer as we get deeper and deeper into qualifying. And not sure if Logan Clampett's put down a time yet, but he is probably going to be one of the guys to watch out for the Rick Sotsauce Rookie of the Year. He is listed as a rookie. He's a part of Excuse me. He's a part of Lucky Doug Motorsports, so last season, whenever he could, he'd race occasionally in the Pro Series, and he would dominate in it. He had 2 wins and 7 starts, but he was always a contender, always just drove from the back to the front in some cases and led a lot of laps. So Lucky Duck looking to pair that up with Cup champion from the past, Michael Curran in the 24, and a couple of new drivers in their stable that we'll get to a little later on.
Going to be a lot of fun to see Rick's Hot Sauce. You can go over to rickshotsauce.com for some of the hot sauce made locally in South Florida. Going to be a lot of fun to see who can go ahead and grab that award. DJ Cummings finishes his lap. He pulls it down to the apron, and we'll continue to monitor. Yes, he is P9 currently on the left side of your screen. 12 drivers have put down a time, and Dwayne Culbertson will be the next one onto the racetrack in the drafty car 40.
Yeah, so not sure if he is. I would assume he's still with the Solar Flare Racing Group, because that's the team that he was always on whenever he'd race in the Cup Series. Past couple of seasons, he's been in and out of Cup racing, so across his 59 Cup starts, he's got 7 top 10s, 1 top 5, an average finish of 20th, so looking to make his 60th Cup start potentially next Monday. He is an open car, so he'll have to qualify his way in, and if not, race his way in through the duels later on.
I'm looking at this top 5, top 6, top 7. When they separated into the duels, I mean, it's going to be tight-knit. A lot of great drivers already putting down their single car qualifying run. I'm more curious to see the open guys that are going to have to really work their way through. Stalneck, one of the guys that are on the open side, he's starting to fall down the totem pole left side of your screen. You can see already down to 11th, still over, I want to say 40-something, nearly 50 drivers left to go ahead and qualify, give or take. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all runs down as Culbertson now runs into the 10th position. Single car qualifying here for the Area 500. Duels to follow on the Speedway. You got Ford Martin in 07.
Yeah, Ford Martin, one of the open cars in the field that is a rookie. He's got a pretty big background from what I've been able to gather over the last couple of days or so, but he's looking to make his footing in area properly and try to set the area world ablaze in the Area 500.
Going to be fun. He's been racing on iRacing for quite some time. If I'm not mistaken, used to race in Monday Night Racing, had possibly a partnership, or should I say part ownership, in that series. He's got a Chevrolet wound up, heading back to the start-finish line, back down on the apron. A lot of drivers waiting to go on. This is an opportunity for us actually maybe to go ahead and hear what some of these drivers are thinking while they wait to put down a time. Ford Martin comes to a completion. He is there in the 14th position. Let's see, who is yet to put down a time that I think we can have a really good chat with. We've seen it before. Have we seen John Peely yet? I don't think we've seen John Peely as of this one. Let's go ahead and chat with him. Peely, John Ramos, you got a copy. Peely, John Ramos, you got a copy. And I don't think we have him just yet. One of the drivers that are waiting around. I'm really curious what they think, kind of just in those moments, right? You got an opportunity to kind of understand what drivers are doing, what lines they have, putting onto the speedway. But in those moments, for some, do they sit around? Do they wait? Do they go on to the next opportunity? Or do they overthink? There's a lot of things to really try to understand, at least on the single car qualifying side. As of this moment, 14 drivers putting down a time. Still top of the board is Sam Brochu, John Hall, P2, and we'll continue to wait and monitor for the next drivers to try to put in that group. And I believe it just went into the second session for us to go ahead and figure out who it just was. I believe it was Patrick Mosey, if I'm not mistaken. They're in 34. Or did he already put down a time?
Patrick Moose in the 34.
Moose, excuse me.
Yeah, he's one of the newcomers from the Truck Series for Solid Rock Performance. He had 2 wins last season in the Truck Series, was very consistent throughout his time. So he made the come up from Trucks all the way up to Cup for Solid Rock Performance.
And Tanner Betham was on the Speedway. So if you do see that on the broadcast where it's like, okay, is there any cars on track? Why don't we hear that? 60 drivers, 30 drivers into session. So if a driver that was in session 1 went versus a driver in session 2, it takes a little time for iRacing to then kind of bring us over to that second session. And that's where you see Tanner currently on the speedway in 78.
Yeah, he's one of the newcomers in the area as well. Looking through, he's listed as an open car, so he's looking to, again, get his footing properly in the area and try to make a name for himself in this race, the Area 500. Some of the biggest races of area history have come from this speedway alone. And if you're superstitious about winners, the last 4 races here have been won by the same 2 drivers. Season 3 and 5 was Travis Beckner. Season 4 and 6 was Seth Null. So someone's looking to dethrone those 2 as some of the greats at Daytona.
If you're wondering who we missed, we didn't miss Cosman in 71, if I'm not mistaken. Yunashiu, did I say that correctly? I know I'm gonna have a tough time getting that one correct. He's raced an NR, and I know I've destroyed his last name before, but we did miss him. So sorry, Cosman. And when we're trying to go from session 1 to session 2, he is currently sitting in that 7th position.
Yeah, Cosman Yonish in the 71. He's a part of the Lucky Duck stable as well. He's won the duel here back in Season 4, and he's also won the pole here back in Season 4. So not only did he win pole for Area 500, he won the duel as well. Just wanted to take all the glory. Couldn't quite capitalize on the Area 500, but looking to do so this time around. Looking through, trying to see, he's on a team. Looking through, he's on the Lucky Duck Motorsports group. So he's got 10 top 10s and 26 cup starts, so he knows how to get the job done. And obviously he's done it before at Daytona. Pole sitter, won the duel, so shouldn't come as a surprise to see him up front later on.
And we got Frankie Barroso onto the speedway in 23. 17 drivers have put down a time so far. You're watching qualifying for the Area 500. That will be taking place next week, just a week actually from today. But we do have the duels tonight to go ahead and set the grid, set the field at that. Duel 1, Duel 2 taking place after single car qualifying. Still drivers to chat with, but no one has taken down Brochu just yet. A lot of cars still left to go, but that top 5 separated by just zeros across the board. And we do have a new driver, top of the board in 85. That was Lee Norton. Going top of the board, he was in a second session, and now you do see him jump to the apron of turns 1 and 2. Lee Norton, quick time of 49.513.
Oh, that's a rookie too. It's an open rookie.
It is an open rookie. Wow. Quickly able to go ahead and make that work. Once again, when you see drivers either missed or not missed, it is usually from session 1 to session 2. High demand for the Area 500. Very excited to hear what's all coming down for drivers just in general. Racing tonight, don't forget it. Duels at the conclusion of what we have here at Daytona. Following that, we'll go ahead and get ready for the Area 500. Nate Stort 6th, Alt 5th. Betha jumped up to 4th. Hall, Brochu, and now Lee Norton, top of the board, currently in this qualifying effort.
Yeah, still hard to think we have over 30 cars left to go and qualify, so we're not even halfway through.
No, not at all. And you see, bro, so originally onto the speedway when we're going over to session number 2, Josh Cottle has found his way on the speedway. He is working his way to 1 and 2.
Yeah, Josh Cottle, open rookie, trying to lock his way into the Area 500, trying to join Lee Norton atop the fastest 2 so they can lock themselves in and not have to worry about the duels tonight.
That's the last thing you want to worry about. Late at night, you got to make sure you make it in off of just pure pace alone. Cottle on the speedway. I just checked Lucky Duck, and yes, indeed, he is deafened, and his mic is muted, making sure he can go ahead and focus on what's all ahead. How about Brandon Buie? Haven't been able to chat with him. Let's see if he wants to have a word with us. Buie, John Ramos, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right. Hey, listen, a lot of these drivers have already put down the time. What are you thinking ahead of qualifying?
Well, I'm just trying to be as smooth as possible, trying to put down a solid lap, and we'll see where things shake out. You know, I understand, you know, getting the front row is good, but at the same time, if you can, you know, just make the field, and you still got 30 laps to try to figure it out. So, qualifying's not really everything, but if you can try to get that front row, that's pretty good.
Do you want to take a lap with us around Daytona live for the broadcast, or do you want us to go ahead and throw you back into your chat?
Probably go ahead and throw me back. I think that's probably best.
There we go. Okay. Wanted to go ahead and chat with that just in case. Brandon Buie hanging out with us just for a matter of moments, and we'll actually go ahead and deafen him. Can't find his chat while he goes ahead and puts down a qualifying lap. Gets to the line. He goes 12th, actually, while we were mid-interview with him. And he'll come to a slow. Apologies on that. We probably shouldn't have pulled you mid-broadcast. Or should we say mid-run?
It was all good. I was able to multitask, so we're all good.
Multitasking. Heck yeah. We'll continue to go ahead and monitor things. That was Brandon Buie. Next on the speedway, you see him coming just off the back end. That's Jonathan Evans there in Toyota.
Yeah, Jonathan Evans, he made his debut as a rookie last season in the area. Coming through. I'm trying to see if he's on a team. I believe he is. I can't seem to find him. No, he's not listed as a team driver. But he was pretty fast last season. He raced across the Truck Series and the Pro Series as well. Kind of made a name for himself there. Just very fast, very consistent, and looking to have a strong opening to Season 7 in the Area 500.
It'll be fun to see. We won't grab Polhemus. We know he's on track right now. He will be the next one working his way down off turn 4. And we'll continue to monitor who is next. We still have Ryan Dunkelberger after that, Jacob Emery, Brad Slaughter Jr. We're almost approaching, already halfway through this single car qualifying run, and not too much has moved from the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th position, minus Evans going top of the board.
That was a really good lap for Jonathan Evans, and he's actually listed under the Triforce Racing Group, so I do have stats on him. So he had 5 top 10s in his 13 truck starts last season, so he's one of the truckers that made the come up to the Cup Series, and like I said, he was pretty fast as a rookie. He raced across all 3 series, and I mean, it shows because he's sitting at the top of the board right now.
All right, heck yes. We're going to watch, see maybe if Barrett Polhemus can go ahead and knock that off. Polhemus being, if I am not mistaken, the 25th qualifier here at Daytona. Gets to the line and will not break up inside the top 5. Goes 8th, just 2 back to that of Evans.
Yeah, he is. Sorry, he was one of the rookie cars for Powerhouse Racing with Brochu as well.
Continue to look for drivers that are next on the list as everyone kind of just waits around until we possibly get Ryan onto the speedway. As you guys know, once again, opportunities still very much alive for drivers to go ahead and make or break. Here's Brad Slaughter Jr. He's now working onto the speedway. He, not really the next qualifier, if I'm still not mistaken, it's still Ryan Dunkelberger that is on the track. Will soon get his time. Brad Slaughter in 3 will be putting his time down just as Ryan goes ahead and completes his lap.
Ryan Dunkelberger, a rookie, in the number 18, looking to have a solid start to the season at Daytona, and who knows, maybe if he qualifies into the show, then he'll be able to showcase his talent throughout the whole season. Meanwhile, Brad Slaughter, he's listed as a driver for his own team, Slaughter Sim Racing. So I mentioned the last place team in the team standings, they lose their charters, and Brad Slaughter was able to get those charters from Swan Motorsports, rebranded to Slaughter Sim Racing. So he's the head honcho over there, and he takes pride in his super speedway racing. He's got wins throughout the Trucks, the Pro Series, and the Cup Series. Obviously, his favorite driver, if you know him very well, Dale Earnhardt Jr., so he knows all about how the Pied Piper of Talladega and Daytona was able to get the job done, and kind of mimics his racing style after him.
Want to say thank you to Eric W. gifting 5 memberships for all the viewers back at home tonight on this beautiful Monday evening as we prepare for the duels for the Area 500. Single car qualifying still going on. Brad Slaughter, I love that last name. I've been saying it for like the last month alone, but it's just such a racer's name, and he gets the number 3 on top of it as well. Really trying to play into the whole stock car style of just the whole brand. Love it. Let's see if he can go on pole. Gets to the line. Brad Slaughter, where does he go? Try 17th. And a best of a 49.531.
Yeah, he's won the Area 500 back in Season 2, so he knows what it takes to get the job done on these super speedways.
Jacob Bell on the speedway, working his way through 1 and 2. Long-time driver here in area.
Yeah, he lost this race a few seasons ago, back in Season 4, in heartbreaking fashion. Back when we didn't have the 3 green, white checker attempt rule, we only had 1 and done, and Season 4 ended under yellow, and it was by the slimmest of margins when the yellow came out that Seth Null was just in front of Jacob Bell. And then it happened again later on that same season at Talladega. They wrecked coming to the white flag.
Man.
The yellow came out at a bad time, and Jake Nichols was ahead of Jacob Bell, even though he was caught up in the wreck. So he's owed one for as long as he's been in area. So he was an open car last season, but picked up by Triforce Racing. So looking to see if he can get a good start to the season here at Daytona.
Kwami Scott, next one to head onto the speedway, waiting for him to go ahead and make his way off turn number 2. You currently see him now on track. Still trying to load in that paint scheme. Number 36 has worked his way all the way up to the Coke Series, through Contender, through Road to Pro, and here he is looking to qualify for the Area 500.
Yeah, throughout his 13 starts in Season 5 and Season 6 Cup racing, he's got 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 147 laps led, average finish of 18th, but when he's fast, he is on his A game, and he's inside the top 5. The closest he came to a win was Charlotte, when he was just 2/1000ths of a second separating him and Jake Nichols coming to the line. And that's going to be our championship race, so it should make for a fun race whenever we get down to the end of the season. But for right now, looking to start things off on the right foot at Daytona.
Always a lot of fun indeed. Love this time of day at Daytona too. It's almost like that orangey sky. There's still a little bit of sun down there in the turns 1 and 2, but mostly shaded around the speedway. It's not nighttime per se. It's that late evening hour. And for the ones that have been to Daytona, they know what I'm talking about. This time that you're just after golden hour, it looks amazing. And the cars look amazing as well, as Kwami Scott gets ready to work his way off turn 4 to see if he has what it takes to go top of the board. Ben Pierce will be next after Scott. Where does he go? Kwami Scott, 21st with a 49.541.
I mentioned Ben Pierce was an open car last season, just like Jacob Bell, but now is a part of the Triforce Racing team. They bought out the charters from Fazekas Motorsports over the course of the off-season. So now they are a full 4-car team. Jacob Bell, Ben Pierce, Jonathan Evans qualified earlier as well, and we still have yet to see Ed Robertson qualify.
Robertson going to be a lot of fun to see as well. Currently still chasing top of the board if you're joining on in. It is Jonathan Evans with a 49.502. Lean in Sam Brochu, John Hall. That's the fast 4. Betha Alt-Store, and then Polhemus being the Elite 8. A lot of things can still move in and out. We still got a good group of guys, but out of everyone that's qualified, this being the 28th driver to put down a time of Ben Pierce, you're looking at it, and there's some times here that almost look like they're just solidified in. A 49.502, yeah, that's going to be really tough to beat.
Yeah, when we get down to the end of the qualifying next segment, we'll see if their time still stands supreme or if they're just off by about a few 1,000ths of a second.
And Pierce will come to a close onto the side of the racetrack. We're waiting for Ryan Swan to head onto the speedway. Swan, next one to go ahead and head onto the track. But once again, 28 drivers now putting down a time, at least as of this moment. You still look for Okrezik. You still look for, should we say, multiple of the drivers in there. Brett Punkari, that has yet to put down a time. Tyler Nichols has yet to put down a time as well. All the opportunities to go ahead and make their way in. Can't find Swan currently on the speedway. He will be next. We'll continue to interview drivers as time goes on. But yeah.
The number 20, the 20 of Ryan Swan, he's a part of that Slaughter Sim Racing stable, so he was fortunate enough to be picked up by Slaughter after losing his team charters a season ago, and he's gotten a few wins on these super speedways, not in the Cup Series, but in the Pro Series and across the Truck Series as well, so he knows how to get the job done. Kind of an underrated super speedway racer, so don't be surprised if he makes a name for himself later tonight in the duels.
Yeah, still looking exactly for Swan on the speedway. Not able to get it. Garrett Grant is going to get ready to go into position here in just a matter of moments. And he'll head onto the speedway after, if I'm not mistaken, Kanan Senesac. So, looking, we did get Swan. He did go 15th there in that number 20. Was in a separate session. Mason Kane on the speedway. He's off turn 4.
Mason Kane a couple seasons ago won the first duel, so he has a fast car on these super speedways. Just always seems to get caught up in wrecks at the wrong time, but he's got a lot of speed underneath that 31. You
got Bryce Senesac there in 09. He works his way off turn 4, works his way back to the line. Still trying to beat Evans in 26. And so far, the drivers that have gone earlier have set down the quickest times.
Bryce Senesac also listed as an open car. He won the second duel here last season. Coming to the finish, it was just an absolute catastrophic wreck off turn 4. He was able to drive his way through, and he was blinking in and out of the session, but able to hold through with his connection and rejoined as the winner of the second duel last season.
Works his way into 3 and 4. As we go ahead and look to interview some drivers. How about Kwami Scott? Just put down a time. Haven't been able to hear what he has to say just yet. Scott, John Ramos, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Always fun for you to come back, race in some area. You made it to the top of the iRacing side for the oval racing, the Coke Series. What is this, should we say, entry list compared to what you may see mostly on Tuesday nights?
I mean, obviously, yeah, like, there's not, no pro licenses. Well, actually, there's a few pro licenses in here, but, I mean, I feel like the caliber of drivers is definitely still the same. The competition is still the same. But, yeah, no, it's nice to find that outside of just the Coke Series.
Pretty cool indeed. Plan on running the full season, part-time schedule. What is so far the outlook heading into 2025?
For the season, I mean, I'm going to do as many races as I can. Big thing for me is, I just want to drive this car more, and I want to, be a lot more competitive, say, in the Coke Series. So, area's a great league to find some pretty good competition in, and yeah, I'm all for it.
Heck yeah, indeed. We'll continue to monitor Garrett Grant. He's on the speedway, working his way through the tri-oval. Kwami Scott, good luck. Got the duels to go ahead and worry about tonight.
Yep, thank you, sir.
And we'll go ahead and drag him to his chat. Just saw Garrett Grant. He completed his qualifying effort. Multiple drivers still left to go before we go dueling here in just a matter of moments. You see Connor Okrezik. He is stationed and ready to go in, should we say, a matter of moments. Still waiting for Jeremy Miller, as Miller will be the next one to go ahead and try to put down a time.
Yeah, he's currently going through 1 and 2 right now, and he's been kind of proclaimed as a super speedway demon. Well, had a few top 5s here in the past on these super speedways with 609 Motorsports and across other different leagues as well. But as of late, hasn't really been able to turn out some impressive finishes. He didn't have any top 5s or top 10s last season, but whenever it does come to Daytona and Talladega, he usually has a fast car and is inside the top 10 for the most part. Just always seems to get caught up in a wreck or two at the wrong time, and looking to turn things around for season 7.
Miller will get to the line, and 49.5, enough to put him inside the top 15 of 49.526. Connor O'Kresick next on the speedway. There in number 14, races in sim versus reality as well. You'll see him sometimes in the ASA Southern Super Series. You'll see him go run a little bit down at Cordial Motor Speedway. Now here he is with area, and if I'm not mistaken, that's a QR code there on the hood.
I believe so. Not sure what it goes to, but
no, I'm not
scan
either.
at your own risk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not able to see a sponsor anywhere on the side of the car. I'm not sure if the sponsor itself maybe is that QR code.
That's technology for you in 2025. He's listed as the reserve driver for Solid Rock Performance, and he has the potential to run up and contend for wins throughout not just the Cup Series, but in the Pro Series and the Truck Series as well. He had 4 top 10s last season, 1 top 5, average finish of 26. So while he is fast, he does get caught up in some carnage. So listed as an open car and the reserve driver for Solid Rock Performance. Looking to kick things off on the right side of the bed for season 7.
Going to be fun to see as well. Completes his time. O'Kresick will not find his way into the top 15. He goes to 19th, just in and around where Cummins was. Looking, peaking after O'Kresick. Still more drivers left to go. We got Weishart in 29. Before we can get to him, actually, Ed Robertson will be on the speedway. Still looking for Weishart. There he is. Should be coming his way down the backstretch, and he is.
Yeah, David Weishart back in Cup, racing as a 29 instead of the 33. Taking after his favorite driver, Kevin Harvick. He's still got that same old attitude, that mentality of racing up front, trying to be the best that there is. And he had a couple top 10s last season. Didn't quite have the success in the Cup side of things, but Pro Series and Trucks, he's been able to get the job done there as well. So really all 3 drivers from Swan Motorsports, including Weishart, Garrett Grant, and Ryan Swan, they were able to come with Brad Slaughter and join into the Slaughter Sim Racing group for season 7.
Continue to monitor, continue to watch. We did see others heading onto the speedway, still looking for multiple guys to go ahead and put down their time. There it is, Ed Robertson working his way down into turn 1.
And Robertson coming back for season 7. He's listed under the Triforce Racing Group as well. Been a long-time member of Area, basically since season 1. Got to go back to the Arcade days as well. Average finish of 24th last season with Powerhouse Racing. So he makes the jump from Powerhouse to Triforce Racing. Looking to get some new footing down for season 7.
Hello Fresh Toyota, love it. Great look. And that beautiful 64 working his way off turn 4 and into the tri-oval. Ed Robertson. Where does he line up? Not too many opportunities left to jump up for drivers. He goes 14. After him, Brett Puncari looks to go ahead and work his way onto the speedway. Brett Puncari has raced in NR Night in America before, has raced e-tickets as well. Coming here to see what he can do with the Area 500. That 35, he's been running it for so long. I remember seeing Brett run this exact paint scheme all the way back in 2021. Big fan of the Princess, I was going to say Princess Peach, excuse me. Big fan of Princess Daisy.
Yeah, it does kind of look like Princess Peach with the orange, but he ran rookie as a rookie in the Cup last season, had an average finish of 24th, had some good runs, had some 11th place finishes, so almost broke through for that first top 10. Still looking for that heading into season 7.
Puncari in Ford will get to the line. Where does he line up? Well, still waiting, looking, not just yet. He goes 30 seconds, so still a ways to go. 37 drivers putting down a time currently from Ford Martin. Last one in that list, a 49.576. Brower, Emery, Williamson, Stallneck, and Brett Puncari round out the tail end of that field. Still trying to beat Jonathan Evans, who is currently sitting at top of the board.
Yeah, Jonathan Evans, good qualifier from a season ago, and currently so far the pole sitter, but still got about 20 more, about around 20, maybe less, left to go on the track. I think Seth Berger, Max Service might be the next couple out.
Seth Berger has his way worked down the backstretch and into 3 and 4. In that 77 machine. Single car qualifying. Once again, after this, got an opportunity to go dual racing. We're going to find out who's in, who is out, who is with an opportunity to make it into the area 500. Berger to the line. He gets a time. Where is it? He goes 26 with a 49.534. Max Service has worked his way on the track right to the trouble. I love that name. I feel like that was done on purpose. Maximum Service. Here we go. Back to turn 1.
I like both of the names, and both of them, they're on the same team, so their teammates are all part of Tank Racing, who just recently changed their name to Berg Arts Motorsports. Gotta assume that's short for Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken, or it could be Berger, either one. But both of them were rookies last season in the area. Average finish of 23rd for Service, 24th for Berger. Both led laps, so both looking to improve on their average finish and try to make a name for themselves, maybe make the playoffs. I know Berger was close to making it last season, but wasn't quite able to do it, so look to do that in season 7.
Look to see that indeed. Has his way working off turn 4. Max Service. Where does he line up? They're going to give him a 49.536. He goes 27th. Travis Beckner, who next on the speedway, works his way down off turn number 4. Did the area Dreams race at Volusia Speedway earlier this year in January. And here he is looking to go ahead and set down a time as well.
Yeah, he's quite the character throughout area. As mentioned, he's a two-time Area 500 champ back in Season 3 and Season 5. He's also the flagman for his local racetrack, Henry County Motorsports Park, so he's got a busy plate, not just in the real world, but also in the sim as well. He's a part of Central United Motorsports in the Pro Series, and he races in trucks from time to time, and he's looking to become the first three-time Area 500 champ. So he was the first to say that he was the first two-time champion, looking to become the first three-time Area 500 champion in Season 7.
There we go. A lot of drivers in here that you see racing on the sim. This is not only what they do also the things in Percy just mentioned, helping out there with the local short track. Those short tracks in Florida are pretty interesting, I will go ahead and say. Always exciting to see how that all gets ready to rock and roll. Matthew Bell, you see him currently on the speedway, or should we say just off the exit of pit road, who's coming into view. Well, try that, Philip Groner.
Yeah, Philip Groner, open car. He's the reserve driver for Solar Flare Racing. Was able to get a couple wins in the Pro Series last season. Ran good in trucks as well. Had some solid cup finishes as well. 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s from a season ago. Average finish of 20th. So he is a part of that Solar Flare group, and they're always contenders week in and week out. So it wouldn't be a surprise to me if he was one of the open cars to make the Area 500.
Wanted to know where Beckner went. He went 16th in that number 28 machine, so just up inside the top 20. Groner has his way off turn 4. The drafty cars Toyota will get to the line. Where does he line up? For a move, he's up to 19th. Matthew Bell, you saw him just a little while ago sitting on the exit of pit road. He has worked his way to the 12-1 Chevrolet. Matthew W. Bell. Got the Kyle Busch font on that machine. All red car, has a white stripe right in the middle of it, within a red one and a black one as well. Coming to a conclusion here of single car qualifying, 41 drivers that put down a time. Bell will be number 42. You still got pretty big names left to go ahead and try their heart at it.
Yeah, Matthew Bell, one of the, in fact, the lone driver that stayed the same from the Solid Rock Performance Group. Got 3 rookies there. 5 top 10 finishes from last season. It used to be the 8 of Rafe Slate, but they didn't change the paint scheme. So last season it was kind of odd to see Matthew Bell in and not call him Rafe Slate. But look at the improve and get some top 5 finishes potentially at the Area 500 this Monday.
Looking for Ed Shearer. He'll be next on the speedway to go ahead and put down a time. Edward Shearer, should I say. They're in 4. Gets to the line. First time on the stopwatch.
He was a part of the Lucky Duck Motorsports Group a season ago, now listed as the reserve driver for Brad Slaughter Sim Racing. 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, average finish of 18th, so he was able to run consistent in the mid-pack area, but couldn't quite capitalize on some top 10 finishes that he could have had, but looking to change that up for season 7 with actually, no, it's not Brad Slaughter Sim, sorry. He's a reserve for Bowie Silver Sim Racing. There's 2 different sim racings in there. We'll get with the drivers for that team in a little bit.
Shearer gets to the line in a Chevrolet. Cracks down to 49.499. That was at least what they were expecting, and it is a 49.516. The confirmation, he goes up to the 6th position. So a big jump. Haven't seen a lot of drivers deep in the field go ahead and throttle their way up the left side scoring pylon. Well, we were able to just see it there with Ed Shearer as he was able to turn down a quick one.
I believe the next car to go out is his teammate,
Bailey Turner.
Silver.
Oh, no, you are right. It is. Nick Silver on the speedway. Just saw Turner go ahead and work his way to the end of pit road. Nick Silver has been on this channel multiple times before, racing the NWP 400 Duels, the NWP 400 itself, if I'm not mistaken. Back in 2023. Haven't seen him ever since, but that 15 has wound up off turn 4.
Yeah, as a part of Bowie Silver Sim Racing was Slinger Racing Graphic Esports, but he was able to stay with the team. 3 top 10s from season 6. Looking to add to that in season 7.
Has his way all the way back to turns 1 and 2. What's the time to beat? Oh, 49.502. Everyone really just chasing that dial by Jonathan Evans, and Nick Silver almost got it. Oh my goodness. How about this? A 49.502. Nick Silver ties Jonathan Evans, but will not go ahead and get the margin. I guess we have to move the decimal place a little bit farther. Nick Silver, exact tie to Jonathan Evans, 49.502. That makes up your front row. Wow.
For the moment, that is absurd. I don't think we've ever had a tie for Daytona or Area 500 qualifying at Daytona ever.
No, that's what they're showing us, at least as of right now. So for the ones that don't know, we use ATVO overlays. Right side of my screen, we get the exact dials, and they're saying 49.52 for both. Reese Schaefer is on the speedway, gets to the line, and will complete his lap. He goes 16th with a 49.523. Wow. I mean, if that is something, an absolute bullseye of a tie, that puts Norton back to 3rd, Brochu back to 4th, and everyone else still looking to go ahead and line up as the night goes on. But interesting things at that as we get ready to finish up qualifying here at Daytona. On track, Bailey Turner.
Part of the 609 Motorsports Group. He ran his rookie campaign last season with the team, had 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, average finish of 18th. He didn't quite get the season off to a good note last year. Looking to shake that up this year. He's got a full season under his belt. He was able to pull together some pretty good finishes towards the end. Wasn't enough to make the playoffs, so he'll look to change that this time around with 609 Motorsports.
Look to see that indeed. Turner gets to the line. What is he looking for here? 42nd. Definitely not enough to go ahead and turn head. So Bailey Turner will complete his qualifying lap at that. Not too many drivers left. We're going on our 50th qualifier. If I'm not mistaken, that'll be Rick Springer. As Springer looks to go ahead and put his car on the speedway. Right around to turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, he sold his charters to Brandon Buie and Nick Silver, so they co-own the team, Buie Silver Sim Racing. He had 5 top 10s. Average finish of 15th last year, so him and Nick Silver from the original Slinger Racing Graphics Esports group stay with the new Buie Silver Sim Racing group. They have Frankie Barroso go out and qualify, Brandon Buie as well. Silver just put down the lap. We'll see what fast time Springer can put down.
We're going to see right here, he comes off turn 4 in his Chevrolet. Will swing it right back to the line. Springer down on the apron for the ones that are wondering. Yes, very legal here in iRacing, and he will go 42nd, which will then line up, if I'm not mistaken, Adam Cabot, who is already working his way down off turn 4. Adam Cabot, there in 17, another Chevrolet. Becoming, if I'm not mistaken, the 51st qualifier here of the night. Has it all single file down into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, was able to get a cup win last season. I believe it was the Southern 500, which he did that. That was his only top 5 as well, his only win of the season. 6 top 10s as well, average finish of 16th. So he had a playoff run, looking to go a little deeper this time around in season 7.
What to do in these final moments here of single car qualifying. Cabot all the way down on the apron. Oh, he jumps up to 27th. Not enough to go ahead and break the left side barrier where he got the top 20. But nonetheless, a pretty strong run at that. Tyler Nichols. We're going to go ahead and put down a time as well. Jake Nichols, you'll see him qualify a little bit later. Tyler Nichols there in that 9 machine with his Toyota. And it turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, renumbered himself from the 41 to the 9 last year. Finally broke through for that first career win. It was a last lap pass in the Tri-Oval at Talladega. And for those that are new to the area, the requirement is you have to have a win and be inside the top 20 in points. He was 19th in points heading into that race and snuck through in the final 100 feet or so to snag the win away and lock himself in. So both Nickel brothers made a shot for the championship last season, looking to do the same this time around at Daytona.
Now looking to make that change indeed. The Nichols name. Can they go top of the board here at Daytona? Tyler Nichols, where does he go? Top of the board, yes he does, with a 49.501. Wow. Evans to second, Silver to third, Lee Norton back to fourth, and Tyler Nichols provisionally on the pole for the Area 500.
It seems like he's got it all figured out. Like I said, he broke through for that first career win at Talladega. It seems like the super speedway skill set has stuck with him. It also doesn't hurt to have your brother, multi-time champion, Jake Nichols, given some input in the year as well.
Blaze McKinney down the backstretch. Well, that's one way to go and wake this crowd up quickly. Bang, top of the board for a driver late in the running. Blaze McKinney in 87. What could he do? Could he possibly go ahead and break on through? For the viewers that watch the channel, no, that is not Daniel Mosteller in 87. Blaze McKinney seeing what he can do on the apron in the Tri-Oval. Well, a 5:01. That is the time to beat. Is that enough? No, it won't, but it's enough to go P6 for Blaze McKinney. Bingo, love that name as well. I'm going to continue to say that all night long. Blaze is fast, P6 it is.
And real quick, that was the car that Tyler Nichols passed in the final 100 feet at Talladega to steal the win from.
How about that? Payne Howell has the car thundering back to turns 1 and 2 and 52. Not too many names left. You're well under 10. If I'm not mistaken, it's 8 names left to go to see what they can put down qualifying effort-wise. Then we have the duels, and then we get to see who makes the show. Payne Howell down the backstretch. Should we say the super stretch here at Daytona as he works his way to turn 3.
Very solid season last season for Powerhouse Racing. Got a win, 3 top 5s, 9 top 10s, an average finish of 11. So he's got race-winning speed. Was able to capitalize on it just once in season 6. Looking to do that multiple times for season 7.
Howell to the apron, and where does he line on up? And I believe he'll go P4. Yes, he will. 49.503, just barely off. We're talking less than 100th to go ahead and try to make the top of the board work. Unreal stuff. Payne Howell, P4. Multiple drivers sitting on pit road as they wait the final moments. How about Michael Curran in that 24 machine?
Season 5 Cup champion Michael Curran. He struggled a little bit. He's very consistent with his finishes. So he had 11 top 10s in 17 starts last season. Average finish of 13th. Couldn't quite get a deep playoff run, so he moves over from Physicus Motorsports, who sold their charters at the end of the season, or in the offseason, I should say, and moved over to Lucky Duck Motorsports. So him, Logan Clampett, Hayden Swank, and Cosman Yonish going to run the stable for season 7.
Curran off turn 4. Will work his way below that WL line through the Geico restart zone. 49.5, that's what they're ballparking him at. What is it going to be? 19, 49.522. And Michael Curran is the next one down, out, see ya. Connor Horn is ready to work his way on the track, and 67 already there as he got it wound up back to turn 1. So check that, overlays say 67, car number says 42. So if I'm not mistaken, Connor Horn running the 42 machine for the Area 500.
Yeah, a little confusion with the number change throughout the offseason, but one thing that hasn't changed is that he has fast pace, speed. Average finish of 11th last season, 3 top 5s, 8 top 10s. Didn't get a win. One in the past, though, so he's looking to erase that 0 in the win column from last season and kick things off with potentially a win in the biggest race of the season next Monday at the Area 500.
You got James Scaoli after this one. You still got a couple guys left to go, but for Connor Horn, it's going to be all on the loud pedal to the line. For number 42, where does he go? Try 36 in Chevrolet. James Scaoli. Man, we do want to apologize once again if my voice is still not 110%. We were expecting it to be 110% by today. For the ones that don't know, following the trip to Daytona, fell very ill for the last 4 or 5 days. So the voice is still very much coming back a whole lot better than it was last Friday. But Scaoli has worked his way down into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, I believe he's listed as an open car. I don't see him with any team, but the team he was on last season was Solar Flare Racing. So they've got like star power galore. Every one of their drivers last season had a win. Scaoli had 2 of them, 9 top 5s, 12 top 10s, had a solid push in the playoffs, average finish of 12, looking to still become a champion in the Cup Series in the area.
Yeah, excited to see what Scaoli can do there in 7. Off turn 4, what can he run with? This will be the 54th driver to put down a time. Everything very mirrored, but it's all a game of inches on how good you could qualify. Scaoli top of the board there in number 7 of 49 of 498. Wow. And we'll bump Nichols to 2nd, bumps Evans to 3rd. Nick Silver holds on to the fast 4. Howell back to 5th. And James Scaoli, I hope that is the way to go ahead and say in the drafty car 7 top of the board. What do you got? Seth Null That number 1 machine working his way down the Daytona super stretch.
Yeah, last season was a season to remember for Seth Null, the Truck Series champion. And then in the Cup Series, he had a staggering 6 wins, 12 top 5s, 15 top 10s. Average finish of 4th, was a championship contender. He's looking to keep that same speed with Solar Flare this season.
Seth Null, that number 1 machine. A lot of drafty car machines out here. Drafty car doing a great job sponsoring a great bit of the Area 500 field. Seth Null, top of the board, a 49.491. Bang, see ya. And he's going to put Scioli into 2nd, Nichols into 3rd, and Evans back to 4th. Just like that, we went from a point where it was like the drivers qualifying from 30th, 40th, 50th. They're kind of hovering around that range, and these last couple of guys, one after another, just knocking it all off. And Jake Nichols will like to see if he can get that purple and white machine back top of the board. Him, and right now, if I'm not mistaken, it might be Wineland. Might be the final drivers to go ahead and qualify. No, check that. Maybe Jake Matheson, depending on who is left in this session.
Looks like Matheson's not here, so Jake Nichols will be the last one to go out. And I mean, what more can we say about Jake Nichols? Multi-time champion in the Cup Series, made his presence known across all of iRacing and even in the Pro Series and the Truck Series as of late. Only 3 wins last season, 14 top 5s, 16 top 10s. Average finish of 4th, was a championship contender. Wouldn't be surprised if he puts it on pole right here, right now.
And he does go 5th, 49.502. And that will be his time of completion. Only 1 driver so far in this session has not put down a time, or at least a time not currently added on the scoring pylon, that being Eric Weiland. So unofficially right now, it is Seth Null with quick time of 49.491, blazing here at the World Center of Racing. 60 drivers were on the list, 56 currently putting down a time, and I don't think that's going to go ahead and change. As of this moment, he does sit quick time. Fun qualifying session, including with single car qualifying. Let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and speak with the driver that went quick time unofficially as of this moment. Seth Null, top of the board. Null, John Ramos, you got a copy? Hey, well, as of this moment, there are still technically drivers left to qualify, but we don't see any taking the green flag. We don't see any running around. Eric Wineland, nope, he's not on track as well. Unofficially, you, Seth Null, quick time for the Area 500.
Yeah, saw a lap, just saw what other people were doing and tried to mimic kind of what they were doing. A little bit of cheese going on with what we're doing on pit road going before the lap, but it was a good lap, nice and smooth. Hate to say I'll put Tyler on the outside of the front row. Hate to put him there because that would have locked him into the front row, but we gotta go get that pole, baby.
And you got it indeed. Out of all the drivers trying to go ahead and put down a time, 49.491. You mentioned a little bit of cheese. Can you dive a little bit more deeper into that? What you were doing coming off pit road?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that in-house a little bit.
Ooh.
Those that know, but yeah, and hopefully we tweak the system a little bit next year to where the cheese that we did was not allowed.
Well, it was awesome to see the speed you were able to put down. We do have the duels coming on up. If I'm not mistaken, the front row is locked in to the Area 500. Are you going to race the duels, or is this something that you're going to maybe do a couple laps and pull it on over the side?
I've won the Area 500 twice. Big ego boost there. I have 0 duel wins. So last lap, I'm throwing the haymaker.
So are you thinking superstition? Maybe you don't want a dual win because you've won the Area 500 twice,
we're
or
the haymaker. We're trying to win this damn thing.
okay.
We'll bring home the trophy.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's what I like to go ahead and hear. Well, nonetheless, awesome to see. Great crowd watching back at home for single car qualifying. Nonetheless, right before we go dueling here in just a matter of moments, what do you want to say to them?
I want to shout out Drafty Car. on the hood for the 500 this week. Be sure to go to the App Store and get the Drafty Car app. I know Blackford puts his butt into this, so go check that out. Appreciate JWR hopping on as well on the quarter panel, and Jake throwing together the old blue scheme this season.
How about that? Gotta love Drafty Car. I saw a bunch of race fans actually playing it during the rain delay of the Daytona 500. It's become a big staple here of the NASCAR racing community. Nonetheless, it is planned to lead us to green come next week, being March 3rd, a week from today for the Area 500. Seth Null, congratulations.
All right, appreciate it, boys.
And we'll go ahead and drag him back. All right, Hunter, bang, bang, boom. We get through qualifying. We set the grid now for Duel 1 and Duel number 2. What can we expect?
We expect the first one to be pretty tame for the most part, but then towards the end, obviously, we're going to see some good old beating and banging, bump drafting, massive runs, 2 wide, 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide. Might see some wrecking here and there, but pretty much whatever happens in the first duel, the opposite happens for the second duel on occasion. So we'll have to see what the first duel has in store for us and how aggressive the drivers want to take it.
It's going to be fun to see, and we're going to get an update here if we'll be running in the same session or maybe a different one. Currently watching the cars as they're all sitting on pit road just to get the final moments in all the crunching of the numbers. Let's go ahead and kind of run down through this field, left side of your screen. Ford Martin, Jacob Brower, Jacob Emery, Shane Williamson with Bailey Turner, Ricky Springer, Matthew Stallneck, Brett Punkari, that's 49th on back. Dwayne Culbertson, Garrett Grant, Kwami Scott, Jacob Bell, 45th on back. You got Hayden Swank, Frankie Barroso with Matthew Bell, and if I'm not mistaken, Max Service, Seth Berger, 40th on back. Connor Horn with Bryce Senesac, Brad Slaughter Jr., Josh Cottle, DJ Cummings, Adam Abbott, or should I say Adam Cabot with 34th on back. And before we can get to the end of that, we're getting ready to go dueling here at Daytona. So 60 drivers, once again, we're on the entry list. You're getting ready to watch duel number 1 come and go. 30 laps, that's all it is to set the field for the Area 500. Want to say thank you to everybody that's been hanging out with us as we get ready to go green flag racing. Beautiful night of action, all awaiting us as we get ready to bring it all loose. 29 drivers in duel number 1. And we'll give you an update at the completion of the duels on who's in and who's out. Toyotas lining up that first top 5. Hall, Shearer, Stewart, Moose, Clampett, and Asogak with Schaefer, Weishart, Miller, Groner, Swan, and others all getting ready to go green. We'll get ready to hear that starting lineup in just a matter of moments. Before then, Hunter, what do you got for us?
I was just going to say, we haven't had a repeat winner in any of the duels. So whoever's won Duel 1, they have not gone on to win another duel in the seasons following. Last season, it was Drew Jua. Most of these winners tend to come through on the last lap whenever there's chaos that ensues, whether that's in turn 1, mostly down the backstretch, and sometimes coming off turn 4. So should expect some exciting moves to be made. For example, I think Bryce Senesac, actually no, Mason Kane 2 seasons ago, he was P9 on the last lap of his duel, snuck through and just barely got through to win his duel. So the winner could come from anywhere in the field, doesn't matter where you are on the last lap.
Going to be fun to see cars rolling on off. And the bottom of your screen, you can see the starting lineup for duel number 1 as they kind of roll on through. This is what you've all been waiting for, the excitement, the fun. That all is brought to you through the Area League, the Area Cup Series, the Area 500, the IDK Player YouTube channel. Lights on, top of the pace car will be going green. What could be next time by? Can we look at some of these names we just learned? For the hardcore area fans, you know them very well. Alt back there in row 7, Nate Stewart. What can he do? He's with Barrett Polhemus back in row number 8. Excited to see what Cosman can roll with as well, as they continue to lock in, line up 2 by 2 here for duel number 1. Time to go green. And the bottom of your screen, once again, seeing all of the rows of machines just before they lock and load. Once again, 29 drivers getting ready to race with us. All the rows locked in and ready to roll. Exciting indeed as we get ready to see who's got what. Seth Null leading us to green here in duel number 1. Jake Nichols on the outside. And then you got, or excuse me, Tyler Nichols on the outside. Jake Nichols there in 3rd. Payne Howell there in 4th. Sam Brochu, John Hall, and others all lined up to see who goes where, what, why, and how. Time to go green. We got the one to go. Toyotas lined up on the front row as that pace car will make that hard left onto pit road. Great crowd watching on hand. It'll be 10-12 there on the East Coast by the time we take the green flag. 9-12 Central here in our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. You're watching the Area 500 Duels at Daytona, Duel 1. Getting ready to commence here in just a matter of moments. We've seen drivers do great things in qualifying, but when it's time to go green flag racing, that's where the wildness starts kicking on in. Can you keep your car in position? Can you keep your car intact to go the distance? Only time will tell. Eric W. gifting 5 more memberships. All of those great viewers back at home. Let's get ready to go green. Pace car, the hard left onto pit road. Seth Null, Tyler Nichols. Let's light the fuse into 1. First run off turn 2, you saw the outside lane. It got formed up to the way you'd expect it to, including since that new iRacing update. Now, first time the next gens have been used with area since the iRacing update with the next gens. And already you're starting to see not a lot of moving in and out. It's 2 by 2 mostly, where drivers that want to lock in stay in position, not trying to get bold. But winning is always something you want to go ahead and do. Seth Null, he'll go around to lead lap 1. Tyler Nichols drops back to 4th, maybe 5th. Jake Knowles. Jake Nichols, should I say, nearly moving top end. Here comes Sam Brochu. Brochu on the bottom has help from the 34. Patrick Mosey. Lined in, trying to make something work. Outside lane, a charge nonetheless off turn 4. Seth Null the line. He's going to leave that one. DJ Cummings, Connor Okrezik inside lane now has the numbers. All still watching mostly on. Some drivers up front, well, they're back in that feel of, okay, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to race. I'm going to race for as hard as I can for whatever I have available. Then you got the guys deeper in the field, riding around. Hey, it's a 30-lap race. Lap 3, lap 4, it's technically a sprint. Take your time. Take what you have and see what you can use to your advantage. With that, mostly 2x2, back end of the field, Williamson and Miller, 27th and 28th. Sam Brochu, when you check social media, he seems like a favorite for the Area 500. A good reason for that, at one point going top of the board in his qualifying effort. And running up front here in duel number 1. Putting the pressure, trying to charge on that inside lane, but it's still Seth Null on the outside. That's off the end of the super stretch. Reese Schaefer, Logan Clampett riding there in 11th. Patience, 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 you gotta love it. Nate Stewart, he's there in 10th. And you're starting to see those separations, group 1 to maybe a group 2. What we've learned from this next gen, as you see Sam Brochu get stuck in the middle, it's easier to lose the draft than it was before this update. Seth Null, inside lane advantage, he's going to take the lead off turn 2. Two Toyotas leading the way. One on the inside, that Null. Top end, 73, Jake Nichols. Side drafting, it's become a little more dominant with this update as well. And you'll start seeing that. Anytime a driver goes to that quarter panel, he's not looking exactly go quicker. Just trying to see if he can slow that driver down a little bit more, take all the air off that spoiler, and see with maybe what it can roll. Almost like a last-ditch effort. You've seen a lot of it. And the A-fixes, saw a little bit during the Coke series on Tuesday. Should we say just last Tuesday, last couple of Tuesdays ago? What can you do to make up an advantage? Top 20 shown left side of your screen. That will change of the 29 drivers that have entered here for duel number 1. 28 on the lead lap. As Edward Shear Jr. has already been booked 4 laps down, that due to what could be mechanical issues. "24 laps to go." Running on the back end of Okrezik. And you gotta love just the sheer speed that's been really added into all this. The speeds itself has changed dramatically, but you can still crack into the 200 mile per hour range in the right conditions. Ricky Springer saw him get to 196 off the end of the super stretch. A little bit blipping in and out of the throttle, not to run over the driver in front of him. Seth Null, Patrick Mosey. Justin Anasogak, the first one to put down a qualifying effort from the single car queue just earlier in this stream. He sits P3. Love seeing those drafty car schemes. It just looks so good, including when they're running in a pack like this, and no better opportunity than to sponsor a car and then make the scheme look just as good as what the actual game is. And you can very easily see a very distinct as well. Oh, loose, maybe just a little. That was Pan Howe coming down off turn 4. So we asked in the live chat back down below. And a big question, do we see overtime in the duels? 82% of you said yes. Well, 18% said no. Early on, it's calm, but that doesn't mean things won't be calm later on in this race. Chevrolet on the outside, trying to get a run for the money. That's Ricky Springer. Does have that helping hand behind. Jake Nichols doing what he can. Springer off turn number 4. Is it enough to bring it back to the line? Nah, not able to get it. Seth Null will leave that one. Has not left that first position. What about Springer itself on the move? From 26 up to the second spot, that's his highest. 3 wide. Brad Slaughter, Jacob Brower, Barroso, Wineland. Saw them get just a little swerved up. Oh, contact, and I think that's a hit check. Slaughter there with Brower. Yeah, you do that just a couple more times, you're going to make someone not too happy. Brad Slaughter Jr. there in the 3. Talk about 3. How about 3 wide? Nate Stewart up top. Down low goes the 23 machine. Moving, shuffling, swing. And it's about buying low and selling high. Who can net gain with what they've got with 20 laps to go? Still 3 wide it is. Brad Slaughter Jr. finding a home top end of the speedway. Bunkari, Nichols, and all this continues to shuffle around just outside that top 5, top 6. Nate Stewart back to the 16th position. Brett Bunkari finding a home, top end of the speedway. Trouble, maybe there was. 3 wide, 4 wide, can they make it work? Yes, they do, just for a matter of moments. Nate Stewart got out of line, so did Groner. And with 19 laps to go, they will drop back. Let's go take a look at a replay. This is back half of the field. It all started with Brower. Made a move top to try to block everyone else with the reaction, and we stay green. 18 laps to go. Nobody has been able to dethrone Seth Null. Logan Clampett, welcome to 6. And is very much able to make it work, at least as of this moment. 2 by 2 by 2. You saw 3 wide, you saw 4 wide, and you may be questioning and scratching your head, wait a minute, isn't this a duel? Yes, it is, and you can expect more of that come next week for the Area 500. Max Service. Brochu back to 14th. You saw him challenging for the lead at one point. But all eyes now on the Jacob Brower 48. I mean, there's been a couple of times he's already gotten into it with other drivers, other machines in this race. And the question now is, will that continue? From the hit check to Slaughter, that could have been something that happened maybe a lap or 2 earlier off screen. And then the big reaction to avoid a big doom and gloom move 3 wide middle. Springer up the gut, and I don't think anyone's going to work with him. 16 laps to go. If you're just tuning on in, we say hello and welcome. It's league night in America. Is that very appropriate to say? As you are watching Duel 1 for the Area 500. The Area 500 will be live next Monday, a week from today. And you can watch it all live on the IDK Player YouTube channel. Nonetheless, what do you got from us? Well, great hard-nosed racing. That's what you have. Mostly 2x2 throughout this field now. Was 3 wide. Was for a moment 4 wide, but up inside that top 4, top 5, top 6. Nice and calm, like you like to see us. The drafty cars machines sitting first, sitting third. Patrick Mosey kind of just stuck, not really able to move anywhere, at least as of this moment. Couldn't make that move out of line, but you know that 88 is going to try to stick with that one. And here we go. 3 wide, once again it is. This time the 48 machine leading that outside charge. Jacob Bauer. Doing what he can. John Hall dropping back in 03. Now, you haven't seen a move or a lead change just yet, but I mean, you got to keep an eye on how things have been going from 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And we've seen duels get bold and exciting in those final moments. Could it happen again? 3 wide, check it out. Top end of the speedway, Jake Nichols in 73. Gets help from the 50 through. Gets help with the 53, Shane Williamson. Tandem drafting. Have we yet to mention that tonight? Well, something you'll be seeing quite often, maybe come tomorrow, or should I say next week, with the Area 500 itself. As most of the field goes single file, 3 wide still it is with that 48 machine. Jacob Bauer stuck in the middle. Great racing nonetheless. I mean, this has been a heck of a duel from what we've saw, but now we're not seeing a lot of help and movement with that 48 machine. Not many wanted to work with him. Connor Okrezik in 14. Well, sees the back bumper there, if I'm not mistaken, of Nate Stewart. And it is Nate Stewart in 05. 12 laps to go. The clock is ticking and ticking even more. Every spot, in theory, is an extra row come the Area 500 for your starting position. And the thing about the Area 500 is it's not a 200-lap race. It's not a 500-mile race. It is 100 laps, and that's not a lot of time to work with compared to some big events that have 500 in the name at Daytona. 100 laps, yes, plenty of time to make moves right around if you need to work on pit strategy, but you don't have all day. You have to really strategize those moves. With it being 100 laps and 250 miles, they can go by in a hurry. Connor Orr. Watching on with him, number 42. That as a scheme, number 67 on the left side of your screen. Brad Slaughter Jr. I think he's tired of waiting. He goes 3 wide middle, trying to give a heave there to the 51. He's able to lock with a big thing to talk about. Yes, the temperatures are cooler with the night really kind of just setting on in. But at the same time, you can still blow an engine, and we've seen it before, we've heard it before, just come out of nowhere from drivers. If you can't get clean air there on that grill, something could ignite, and I mean ignite in a hurry. And it's Sogak holding on that 3rd position. Weishart holding on in P4. Horn, Service, Swan, Grant, Nichols, Stewart. 9 laps to go from Daytona. And they've almost settled in, expecting it to go caution-free. You say that now with 9 to go when it seems calm, but who knows, with 8-7 laps to go, they could very much be back in that hard-fought nose 2x2, 3x3, maybe even trying to sneak in a 4 wide just for a moment of a heartbreak. Ryan Swan. Watching, waiting, wondering. Oh, trouble, spin off turn number 4. Frankie Barroso into the inside wall. Single car spin as of this moment. It stays green and may have collected Slaughter, may have collected others. No caution. Very unfortunate there for Barroso. Let's see a replay. One of those drivers sitting 3 wide. 97 underneath him. Oh, I think it had nothing to do with it. All Slaughter. In 3, making contact with the 23 machine and slam into the inside wall. 7 to go. Moving, top of the speedway. Nate Stewart sitting there in 9th. And oh boy, as he caught a train finding his way up inside the top 7. Seth Null, Patrick Mosey. Justin Anasogak, P3. He hasn't left that inside lane, and I want to say at least 15 laps. What was 7 to go, now 6 to go at Daytona. Cars outside wall, deeper in the field. Shane Williamson, slow down the backstretch. And he may be bringing it to a stop. Seth Null, he's led just about everything this race has had to offer. But what is that 34 willing to do? Stewart 05, he's got company in the 11. Philip Groner has found his way up inside the top 5, has found his way up inside the top 6. Jacob Brower trying to go ahead and start up a move. But the second they get 3 wide, it's almost like the drivers deeper in the field get pulled just a little bit farther back and forced to find a home on either the inside or the outside lane. 4 laps to go from Daytona. Stewart, 3 wide, company in the middle. Groner to the bottom. Jake Nichols will join. And don't look now, but Logan Clampett. With Wounded Warrior Project on the hood, will find his way top of the board at the World Center of Racing. Stewart takes it back. Gets a shove by 48. Clampett versus Stewart. 3 to go. And they're trying something. You can see a lot of movement in the center of the pack. Seth Null to the outside, clamp it to the bottom. Nate Stewart a heave to the back end of the one. And Jacob Brower will now sit P3 after at one point being hung out 4 wide earlier in this duel. 2 to go. Use the hashtag Area500 on social media. You won't want to miss it. A week from today, Seth Null went quick time during qualifying. Has led the entire set of duel number 1 up to this moment. Nate Stewart, opportunity on the inside. Null drops back, Stewart to the lead. 1 to go in duel 1 at Daytona. Lap traffic. Jumping out of the way, trouble, spin, and there they go. The big one to turn 1. Jacob Bell involved, Connor O'Kresick. Garrett Grant with heavy damage. And Jacob Brower is there. He's sitting in second. Gets a push from behind. This is going to be the finish. Nathan Stewart, 05. Jacob Brower will not make a move. Nate Stewart wins duel 1 at Daytona. And that is how it's done. Wow. Inside, outside, see ya. And after Noel completely dominated his portion, it'll be Nate Stewart going to victory lane. Caution free, duel 1. We'll go ahead and burn it down. League 9 in America, fueling victories all year long. Nate Stewart, what a drive. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks.
How'd you do it? At one point it looked like, man, that one car was going to be tough to find a way around, but you made it work.
Yeah, no, for sure. I ended up falling back. I hit the wall early on, and it was kind of looking grim from there, but I was able to just work my way up to the front, trusted in the bottom lane, and then afterwards, once I got back up to the front, my Powerhouse Racing teammates and Triforce teammates, we have a big conglomerate of cars. We were just able to work together, and we had a 4-car tandem there at the end, and as soon as I got hot behind Seth, I just moved to the bottom. All 4 of them came with me, and it was barbecue chicken from there, man.
How about it? That is what I am talking about. At one point, you guys were 4 wide back there. That reaction you made, man, it woke a lot up on that stream. Did you think there was a possible moment where that field was going to tear apart?
Oh yeah, for sure. I thought there were going to be a few moments where we ended up wrecking or getting split apart, or just something was going to happen. Thankful it stayed green, and thankful to be able to win the duel race. Thanks to all the Powerhouse and Triforce guys for helping me out in that duel. Jim Bieber Esports, my Coke Series team, Best Adventure Life, Simrap Market, just everyone that helps make this 505, whatever number I'm running cargo. And thank you guys for, broadcasting, and can't wait for next Monday, man.
Can't wait indeed. Nate Stewart, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll go ahead and drag him as we get ready to go green once again. Hunter, big time Duel 1. We're heading into Duel 2. What did you see from there?
Well, there were a number of drivers who were complaining about certain moves being made by the 51 of Ricky Springer. Lots of, they don't know how to run the top from multiple drivers about other drivers in the field. Jeremy Miller had steering wheel issues, and then I was able to sit up in the Powerhouse Racing channel where Stewart and the rest of the Powerhouse Racing group were there, and the communication was just absolutely excellent. They were on par with everything from the calculated move with 2 to go all the way up until the checkered flag, just making sure that they were able to get Stewart into the field. He is listed as an open car and a rookie, the reserve driver for Powerhouse Racing, so that was pretty cool to sit up there and listen to the boys just celebrate along, all 4 of their cars inside the top 5 at the end, and then I believe it was Polhemus who said, hey, who said it was hard to finish 1-2? They finished, I believe, 1-2-3-4 coming to the finish.
How about that? Speaking of Polhemus, he's here in Duel number 2. We'll see if those boys can go ahead and do it just one more time. A flawless Duel 1. You got Duel 2 ready to go. Anyone here that possibly keeps your eye a little bit open?
Well, obviously the 7 of Scioli being up there as well. At Blaze McKinney, he almost won at Talladega a season ago. Cosman Yonish, former pole sitter and former Duel winner of this race. Travis Beckner as well. He's won a couple area 500s. Mason Kane won a Duel here a couple seasons back. Looking through, that might be it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some unknowns in the field coming through, like some rookies like Bethea trying to make their way in. Polhemus as well, Cattell. A number of other drivers just trying to start the season off on the right note and try to race their way into the Area 500.
That is what we are talking about. Time to go green. We're down the backstretch already with the lights off, and we'll be ready to rock and roll just one more time. You mentioned Scioli. I like the idea of Jonathan Evans starting to his right wing. Got a lot of great guys still in this field. Nick Silver. How about that of Lee Norton up there in the top 4? Dylan, I just can't look away from him. I've seen what he can do, how he can adjust on the fly. Maybe Dylan All. Maybe he can go ahead and grab a big-time win. Time to get it done just one more time. Lights off on top of the pace car. We'll make the hard left on the pit road, and a pair of Toyotas will bring us through the restart zone to light the fuse in Duel 2. 26 drivers here in Duel number 2, 20 of them currently shown on the left side of your screen. Scioli, first one to the point, has the race lead, getting shoved by that of Nick Silver. Already 3, nearly 4 wide, very deep in the field. Stolneck into the outside wall. Seth Berger on the apron. We stay green as of this moment. Culberson and others already separating away from Group 1. That kind of just happened out of nowhere. Let's go see what happened here with Matthew Stolneck. Former employee at NASCAR. Jumped to the outside. I just don't think he was given room. And that was by Seth Berger. A lot of damage there in 41. McKinney on the outside, lined up with Evans in 26. Will swoop down in front of Scioli. Just like that, Blaze McKinney will lead that lap. The thundering sound of machines, so fun, so exciting. Whether it's Daytona, whether it's Homestead following the Area 500. So many great opportunities, but Toyota has come to life. Once again, from leading the first 2 rows, also having a Toyota behind. Scioli in 7, shoving 87. Lee Norton at 85. Trying to keep the 87 of Blaze McKinney at bay. 27 to go. Norton, Betha, Cabot, and Ben Pierce there in 10th. Kwami Scott back to 12th. You still see Brandon Buie back there in 13th. Shuffling, swaying, trying to get something to work. And you see Matthew Stallneck still down on the inside, hoping for a caution. But if it's anything like we saw in Duel 1, that may not happen. Blaze McKinney, top of the speedway, takes full range of motion. Well, we saw that 78 during single car Q, that being Tanner Betha. Do what he can to put himself out front. One of the lucky duck machines actually blinking on the inside. Trying to see if he can lead a lap. Kwami Scott says 3 wide. Yes, indeed. That's for the race lead. Scott to the point. Scott to the lead. And Dylan Alt says, thank you very much. I'll take him for a move on the outside. Dylan Alt, race leader to turn 1. Adam Cabot, Nick Silver, Brandon Buie. Buie 4th, Buie 3rd. Nick Silver, oh, did he try limbo? How about that 78? Betha on the apron was able to save it. Same with the machines behind. And this is why you watch area. Look at the racing up front. Silver up top. Alt on the bottom. And the Chevrolets take reign to turn 1. Bailey Turner in second. You can see the field fly their way into 3 and 4. Cabot on the outside, up the banking. We'll get a roller coaster of a ride. That should be with helping hand in Kwami Scott. Scott decides to jump to the bottom. And Cabot will shove that of Bailey Turner. Oh, Turner! On the apron, does he save it back up? He does, but they wreck heavy behind. Caution will wave for the first time in Duel 2. Josh Cottle. Jonathan Evans. You saw him with heavy damage, and Michael Curran got up on his side, scraping against the outside retaining wall. Man, that just happened out of nowhere. And it will bring this field to a slow. Things happen quick at Daytona. They happen quickly on a super speedway. Let's go watch the replay. Well, you saw it kind of just at the tail end. At least for what happened on the front side of the field before the checkup happened, the 40 right in the back end of what could have been, I believe, Cattell's machine. It was Brandon Cattell. On the outside with the checkup, the 40 did not check up as well. And that's really about all they wrote until the wreck continued. Dwayne Culbertson was the one that slammed dead in the back of him. Let's watch back again. This time on board. I think he was watching the car on the bottom, trying to make sure the 25 machine of Bailey Turner did not come back up the speedway. And in doing that, will cause a bigger wreck. Talked about Lee Norton. What did maybe Norton see? Well, a car right on top of the nose. Caution is out for the first time here in duel number 2. As things got sideways pretty quickly, you saw it all kind of just going on down. Martin, Betha, Beckner, McKinney, Scioli. With Scott, Alt, Cabot, and now Nick Silver leading the field down the backstretch. We've had one entertaining race nonetheless. Let's talk to Turner and hear what he's got to say. One of the 609 Motorsports drivers. Hate to pull you in probably mid-conversation with your team. Bailey Turner kind of happened out of nowhere heading into turn 1.
Yeah, just seemed like a stack up of a few pushes, and you know, I'm just happy I saved it and kept it out of the field there. So we'll see. We'll restack it and try to get back to the front.
Well, the big question is, what do you think it was incidental, kind of just a bad move, and can you rebound?
Yeah, I think it's incidental. Me and Cabot are teammates, so not intentional by any means. I think it's just a bad push, and we were trying to move to the bottom there, and it partially on me for not getting down soon enough.
All right, well, very unfortunate on that. Still a lot of racing left to go. 21 laps. I mean, it's not like a whole 50-lap run to the finish, but for you, opportunities still very much available to mount up a charge. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hunter Sluppy, what do you got for us?
Just surfing through the channels here. A lot of communication going on with Powerhouse Racing, and then I got some news on the open car situation. So obviously Nate Stewart, he won his last duel. Jacob Brower was there as well. They're both, for the moment, officially locked into the Area 500. Both of them reserve drivers for their respectful teams. Powerhouse Racing for Nate Stewart and Triforce Racing for Jacob Brower. Still surfing up and down. It's just crazy hearing the amount of communication going on between the Powerhouse Racing group and then the racing itself. Guys are like, this is crazy. Like, I didn't expect it to be this chaotic this early on, but I did say before, usually what happens in Duel 1, the opposite happens in Duel 2, and we're seeing a lot more aggressive moves being made, and that's causing a lot of carnage. Still got a good bit of ways to go, but for the most part, everyone is on the same page with the chaotic racing.
All right, good to know. We still have, a great bit of racing left to go. 20 laps of that. One caution between both those duels, though. Is that a surprise?
For the most part, yeah. Kind of expected stage or the first duel. I'm like, okay, if this is going caution free, something's going to happen on the last lap. It just always seems to work that way, and it did. So this one a little more chaotic. Might see a couple more yells before we get down to the end of this one, and I wouldn't be surprised if we finish under green flag edition again, but with potentially a wreck on the last lap.
Oh, well. Things could change. They could change in a hurry. Good things to go ahead and look at as we got lights out on top of the base car. Well, one caution down and under as we still have a lot of racing left to go here in duel number 2. 20 laps. Yes, it's not 20 laps at Bristol, but 20 laps at Daytona could make a big change in how things roll. Pace car makes a hard left onto pit road as we'll get ready to try it all again. Nick Silver on the inside lane will lead us to green with Adam Cabot on the outside trying to get a shove from Kwami Scott. Abbott inside. Dylan Olt will quickly find his way to the back bumper of the Chevrolet. Three wide, moving in the middle. Cattell jumps back to the middle lane. Will get help. Bailey Turner. Saw him get into an incident, a little bit of a scuffle heading into turn one. That was before the moment of the big impact of the wreck that happened just to his right. Now has to make his way through this field. Silver inside, just in front of Alt. Scioli, P3, doesn't make a move to the outside. And he's going to sit there and wait and just see. Yonashiu finding his way up the fifth. Haven't talked about Cosman a lot in this stream. You may want to start speaking about him now, because Yonashiu is there. Bethner is there. He's up to fourth. 17 laps to go. And Nick Silver's got that inside lane all sealed out. Beckner P4, Blaze McKinney P6. Hayden Swank into the 8th spot, 3 wide, holds your breath. Hits now 3 wide, 3 rows deep. All to cover, just by inches. And kept Cosman at bay, jumps back to the outside of McKinney. Yeah, I wouldn't try to stay in front of the 71 too long after that one. Cosman Yonashiu inches away from the race lead. 16 to go. And he still has Nick Silver just locked to that back bumper. Racing at Daytona, always a treat. But when it's a game of inches, you just want to hold your breath and stare at that TV. Alt led that one. McKinney jumps to the bottom. Yonashiu, Betha, Silver, Beckner. That is the top 6. 15 to go. Three wide, slamming. Barrett Polhemus was able to hold on to it. Got jammed up with the 8 machine. Got jammed up with Matthew Bell. 14 to go. Oh, Yonashiu. Xander McKinney. Oh, almost called him Xander McKinney. Call that Blaze McKinney. Back there in the 3rd position. Isolated. With company behind, 2 drivers to beat in front. Tanner Betha. Travis Beckner. Beckner shoves the 78 into 3rd, nearly down into McKinney. And it may have just been a move on his own, trying to find a way around. There goes Ford Martin, as well as multiple machines. Mason Kane. And maybe even Brandon Buie. Senesac with a piece of it as well in the caution wave with 13 laps to go. Wow. Happened oh so quickly. See the damage there on Brandon Buie. Lee Norton. That all happened right away when you saw Ford Martin in 07 get hung dead sideways. Coming off the exit of the tri-oval. 12 laps to go. We'll be restarting with less than that. This is what you saw. And the impacts just continue to pile on in. Things happen quickly when they usually go wrong. Let's see what happened. Brandon Buie, 54. Keep an eye on him. Does he get into Martin of 07? No, well, he ended up, yes, getting into the 07 machine. But watch Ford Martin. It's almost like he was reacting. There's something ahead. I wonder if it was that of the 28. Saw Beckner get in the wall. Brandon Buie was not slowing down. Started a chain reaction after that. And I mean, it quickly happened. Pit road, it's wide open. And we'll get ready to see what is next on that list. Hunter, what do you got for us?
Just a lot of quote-unquote beef going on between Bailey Turner and Jonathan Evans. Both of them good friends. They're good friends off the track, but for tonight, they're rivals after their little shindig they got themselves into. Turner not too pleased. He said that he was put into the wall by Evans, and then Evans said that Turner was the one that actually doored him into the wall, and then Evans just exclaiming over the radio that I'm not going to make that move. I will wreck us both. Da-da-da-da-da. It seemed like he had a preferred line that he was staying to, and the move that Turner made wasn't suffice to his liking. So it's very early on. I mean, it's still the duels, but this could carry over into the area 500. Not quite sure, but still got a good bit to go to settle this one out. But a lot of butthurt drivers over the radio, and rightfully so if they are in the wreck and have a lot of damage.
Should we talk to Jonathan Evans, one of the powerhouse drivers?
Why not? Bring him up.
Let's bring him on in. Jonathan Evans, John Ramos, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Heard there may have been a little bit of agreeing to disagree. Is that about right? Agreeing to disagree?
Yeah, tempers are flaring. Tempers are flaring.
Well, we'd love a little bit of backstory. Is there anything you got for us that you could possibly share publicly?
Not necessarily. I don't want to start any beef this early in the season. You know, I'm trying to make friends at Daytona. I'm not trying to create enemies, but you know, the car is fast. We just got a little bit unlucky. And hopefully we can make a late charge here with 10 to go.
That is what I'm talking about. Hey, keeping the whole hindsight open for the entire year. And yeah, you're right. You'd hate to go ahead and have something go wrong just because of something that happened in a duel on a late Monday night. Still looking very positive for the Area 500?
Oh, of course. Yep. The Triforce cars are really quick. Us and Powerhouse are a little affiliation. We went 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first duel. It's not looking as good in this one, but got some good teammates, some fast cars, so I'm looking forward to the race.
Looking forward to it indeed. We'll get ready to go ahead and drag you back in just a matter of moments. 10 laps to go. What do you need for a shootout?
Just pick the right lane and hope I could make something happen. I mean, I'm not sitting in the best spot right now, I'll be honest, 21st with 10 laps to go, but it's Daytona, anything can happen, so we'll see. My guess is as good as yours.
Indeed. Good luck. Well, Hunter, that's a little interesting, kind of how it all comes together. Not wanting to go ahead and overshoot with the entire season still left to go.
Yeah, you don't want to make enemies this early on and then have it drag out throughout the season. So I think cooler heads will prevail in this instance, and we'll be able to get this second duel finished pretty shortly, hopefully, unless they decide to go all out and create some carnage again.
Just past 11 o'clock Eastern Time. It is about 10:05 Central here in our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Time to try it again. We had no cautions in duel number 1. We're now 2 cautions in here to duel number 2. Toyota Chevrolet lines up the front row with Blaze McKinney and Dylan Hall. McKinney on the outside, Nick Silver closing on in, still has Travis Beckner there in 4th. Move to the middle, that may have been Cabot. Able to do it as well with Kwami Scott. Scott to Dylan Alt. Blaze McKinney to the race lead. Silver's just able to stay sealed to that back bumper. Outside lane, losing that charge. Oh, trouble! What a save, never mind! There goes the 87 around, right in the middle of the field. Blaze McKinney sideways collects the 65 of Van Pierce. And with 8 laps to go, we'll have a restart. Man. And just when you thought he was going to save it, the back end came around on him. 3rd caution out for this duel. And boy, has it turned into a wild one. We asked that chat, hey, will we see overtime in the duels? You might see one here. Nick Silver just getting into McKinney. Look at Ford Martin on the outside, just barely squeaking by. One more time, watch it, this time from a drone shot. Silver's going to hang on that quarter panel, just gets that left rear. And around this area, you thought McKinney was maybe going to save it. Got the traction back going, and then Silver just catches the quarter panel again. Pierce gets thrown into the outside wall, gets a piece of it from the 09. And the rest was history. Look at the damage on the 85. Lee Norton. Josh Cottle. Still the damage from Ben Pierce. Blaze McKinney. Man, oh man, oh man. Oh, and a huge hit for Nick Silver as well. You wonder what that could have done to that right front. Oh, you've seen it before. You hurt the suspension on the car. It becomes troublesome. Hunter, what do you got for us?
listening on board with Senesac there in the 09 open car, trying to race his way into the area 500. He was happened right in front of him, and spotter and VDRA owner Dawson Miller guiding the 09 through, and he apologized about getting into the 65 of Ben Pierce because he had to get through the wreck, and he's an open car. He's trying to make his way into the area 500, so he couldn't really lift. And unfortunate for Ben Pierce to be caught up in that one, but a very wild experience behind the 09 of Senesac there. Other than that, not much else. The radios are quiet throughout the channels. Guys just looking at the damage they got on their car, and some even game planning for the area 500 next Monday.
All right. 6 laps to go here. They're going to have one heck of a shootout. It's Chevrolet's making up that top 3. But another unfortunate incident, collecting some really good drivers, still keeping Dylan Hull and Kwami Scott up front. These two have been really strong when it comes down to record itself on iRacing. And it looks like they may be restarting with 4 laps to go. We're looking to see who maybe is out of this race. 21 laps down, we still got Matt Stolneck, Seth Berger, 14 laps down. Nick Silver, I believe, maybe going 1 lap down here. And same with Cattell, excuse me. Same with Brandon Cattell. Blaze McKinney back on the speedway. Josh Cottle and Brandon Buie look to have beaten the pace car out. 4 laps to go. It's going to be a dash for Duel 2, a complete night and day flip from Duel 1. Hunter, you've seen a lot of these races and how they've gone. What can we expect?
Pretty much a last lap pass. I mean, for the most part, we get last lap passes at the end of these duels. Usually they happen coming off turn 4. Looking through the open cars right now, so Kwami Scott's the furthest ahead of those in the field. Dwayne Culberson there in 7th, Senesac over there in 8th. So those two, again, they're navigating their way through the wrecks, but they're trying to keep themselves out of harm's way. But it's going to be tough to do that when you're getting closer and closer to the front. The moves are going to get more and more aggressive. Guys are going to grow less patience with when they make the move and the momentum that they carry into some of the other drivers in the field. So should be interesting to see how this all plays out with Alt as the leader and Kwami Scott in his outside.
All right. Lights off, 4-lap dash. All with what's left on the line here at Daytona before the Area 500 just next week. Time to go green. Pace car makes that hard left onto pit road. 2x2 through the restart zone. 4 to go in Duel 2. Yonish behind that of Kwami Scott has now Dylan Hull in the front. Outside lane prevailing. Scioli up to 5th, Senesac in that 09 machine, needing help and in a hurry. With that top 3, top 4, single file on the inside lane. Was able to pull away from 5th, 6th, and 7th. 3 to go. The question now is, what can Scioli do? Cabot, Culberson, Aiden Swink, Matthew Bell, Polhemus, Evans, Senesac. Has Betha to the outside. Betha with a move. Two more machines to join the single file fray. Top 6 now cut in line. Culberson wants to join in. So does Swank. 2 to go. Beckner P4, 2 machines outside wall, deeper in the field. Senesac may have been Kane in 31, it was. Kwami Scott, when do you make that move with 2 laps to go? It's gonna possibly come just a lap from now. This is gonna make Duel 2 official. 1 to go from the world's center of racing. And they've all single filed out. Travis Beckner dragging the brake. Around the outside of Yonish. Toe-to-toe with Kwami Scott. Holt in the grass, gets turned off the nose. Beckner 3 wide for the race lead. This is the finish to Duel 2 at Daytona. Scott 36, Beckner 28. He gets sideways. Adam Cabot victorious in Duel 2. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. And just when you did not know, the leaders off 4 ended up being in the grass. What a race. What a finish. Unbelievable stuff. And that will do it from Daytona. Adam Cabot, congratulations. Cabot, John Ramos, you got a copy.
Hey, John, I got you.
What a finish, my man.
Yeah, that one kind of just materialized out of nowhere. I was, we're all single file up front, and I'm always the one to make moves. I don't like just sitting around. I'll make a move even if it sends me all the way to the back, which it did a couple times tonight, but I was kind of content to ride and wait for someone else to make a move since we only had a handful of cars in that lead draft there, and someone made a move in front of me, so I followed him, and just the seas kind of parted. So certainly a great way to start the season, and we'll I guess be starting P4 in the Area 500.
How excited are you now for that race after this big win?
I'm pretty excited because after watching the first duel, I was pretty bummed out because I love the old package that iRacing had at Daytona and Talladega with these next-gen cars, and even though it wasn't super realistic, I loved it because you could make big moves and go places, whereas this one, if you're by yourself and you get stranded, you're just instantly from the front to the back. But I was kind of encouraged by the racing in the second duel. You can still get sent to the back pretty easily, but we're able to be aggressive, make moves, and duel it out, and not just ride side by side like the first duel did. So hopefully that means that we'll have some good racing in the Area 500, and just perfect way to start the season.
Heck yeah, indeed. You got a great crowd watching back at home, late night hour here on this Monday evening. What do you want to say to the viewers that have hung out with us and are ready for next week's Area 500?
I would say get ready. Area, I think, is going to be a great addition to the IDK Player broadcasts, and just get ready for some awesome racing this season.
Heck yeah, indeed. Congratulations on your win.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Well, it was a fun race nonetheless. Hunter, you kind of got to see it all go down. Final moments, what are your opinions?
Yeah, pretty much what I expected. Chaos on the last lap. Senesac getting caught up in that wreck. Unfortunate for him as an open car. Travis Beckner spinning out on the last lap as well. Not ideal for him. Good 3-wide photo finish coming to the line. I mean, what more could you ask for, really? I mean, what a finish we had for the second duel. Great racing throughout. Tight qualifying session. And that's just the beginning of it, because we'll have 100 laps of that next Monday for the Area 500, and still working on who is officially locked into the Area 500. They're selling that right now.
All right, we'll be able to get that on a broadcast, or will that be an announcement for later on, either this evening or into the AM hours?
I can check for you in about a minute.
Okay, oh, hold on. I think yes, you're right. They are working on it right now on who is in or out. But wow, what an addition to this channel. I mean, great stuff just on display. You're watching back on the finish currently between everyone that really got a piece of it. Oh, man, Beckner, just very unfortunate for him. Cabot with the win just in that final moment. Well, multiple drivers went sliding at the line. It started earlier today, a little bit slow, right? Single car qualify. Hey, here are the drivers. Getting to know all of them. This is what you get later. The duels were fantastic. Duel 1 was different from Duel 2. And now we get to see the best of the best a week from today go league racing here on this YouTube channel. And we are hearing about who is in and who is out. Hopefully very, very soon, unofficially, who would be in or out. Left side of your screen, you'll see where the top 20 did go ahead and finish in this race. Unbelievable stuff, unbelievable finish. Check that, you won't be able to. Left side of your screen now is actually for a separate session. But man, oh man, oh man.
Yeah, looking through, I think we got the official results coming in. So Nate Stewart, Jacob Brower, they were already locked in. Dwayne Culberson locked in. Beckner, Tanner Bethea, Philip Groner. And this is an interesting one. So Justin Sogak is the last car to make it into the Area 500 via a tiebreaker, which is the fastest qualifying time. 49.52 was the time for Justin
LCQ,
Sogak.
Correct?
Nope, no LCQ.
Okay.
This is it. So Anna Sogak ran a 49.52 in qualifying. Josh Caudill ran a 49.53. So by 1/100th of a second, Josh Caudill is out of the Area 500 because they both finished 16th in their respective duels, and the tiebreaker goes to fastest qualifying time.
Wow. How about it? And for the ones that are wondering, for the NR Night viewers that are watching, okay, why is it like this versus what we do? Well, our way of things are a little bit different. This is actually more towards how NASCAR kind of sets up their duel process, if I'm not mistaken. And same thing with Area. They do have playoffs. They don't have stages, but they do have opportunities for things to be very similar to what you would see on the NASCAR side. I kind of like this. It's very unique, including for what we have brought to this channel. So we'll wait on the official word as things continue to go on. You know, we haven't talked to Cosman. Let's see if we continue to talk to certain drivers before they go ahead and peel on off. But man, oh man, what a finish for how things went here at Daytona. Continue to get the official word. Actually, matter of fact, when Hunter gets the official word on who's in or out, I'm pretty sure he's going to go ahead and bring things over to the broadcast side. Fun night of racing. You know, we did see and hear from John Peely. Trying to hear from him a little bit earlier. Let's see what Cosman's got for us. Cosman, John Ramos, you got a moment for us before we end the broadcast?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Well, it was a very interesting race. You were there in the final moments of duel number 2. What were you trying to figure out there in 3 and 4 after I wouldn't say the field, but a couple cars in front of you going for the win blew right just in front of your windshield?
I was trying to not blow up. I was I did a dumb, and I was paying attention to the water temp. That was fine, by the way, but oil temp kept creeping up and suddenly red, so I had to back up hard coming out of 2, which allowed for Travis to get the massive run that he got. And then, I don't know, just bad blocks on the last lap.
That blocks in the last lap. Okay, well, that's behind you. Now you have the Area 500 ahead of you. What are you thinking heading into next week?
Avoid the bad blocks on the last lap and be the car that Adam was. We swap positions.
All right.
Metaphysically.
Long season ahead as well. Any tracks you're looking at, minus Daytona, that are kind of like that? Oh, man, I think you got a really good shot at winning this race.
Honestly, no. There's way too good of competition in this league for me. If I finish a top 5, I'll call that a win. Honestly.
How about it? Okay, so you think maybe Daytona is going to be your best option?
Correct. Daytona and whatever other super track we got.
Pretty cool indeed. Cosman, always great speaking with you. Good luck on your Area 500. That will be next week, ladies and gentlemen, March 3rd, as we get ready to confirm the final entries into the event. Who made it through the duels versus who is going home. And we'll wait for the officials to continue to work on that. Just a quick rundown from what we did see throughout the night. We saw single car qualifying. Every driver had an opportunity to put down a single car qualifying lap. Then we went right into the duels. The duels were exciting, 30 laps each. And then a week from today, we'll be rolling 100 laps strong for the Area 500. Now, my voice will not sound like this come next week. It only sounds like this because I'm still getting over a crazy, crazy sickness that happened out of nowhere. Was hoping for the voice to be 100% by today. It was about 90 to 80%, but as the night went on, it probably deteriorated a little bit more. Well, we give a big thanks to Honey. And I'm not talking the browser, I'm talking about the fact that you can buy Honey at Publix, because it was helping me keep the voice somewhat intact. Hunter, any updates?
For now, that's all that we have. There'll be an official lineup posted tomorrow. The names that I listed a couple minutes ago, they should be the correct names, but again, there'll be an official lineup posted tomorrow. It'll be on the AreaIRacing.com website. Check them out on Twitter, Area iRacing. They'll have the official updates posted tomorrow at some point.
All right. Cabot winning duel number 2. We'll bring it back to our studios here in Nashville, Tennessee. We haven't done it at all during this live stream, but it's okay because we're excited to see you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, here's some updates. No stream Tuesday. There will be a stream on Friday night, that for NR Night in America. And then next week we have the Area 500 on Monday, NR Night on Tuesday, and then the World Grand Prix, the 27th e-ticket event, Friday, March 7th. I mean, if you're a fan of sim racing, there's so much to look forward to on the IDK Player YouTube channel. If you haven't already, drop a like if you enjoyed this stream. Hunter, fantastic job. I absolutely loved working with you today. Area, a whole lot of fun to broadcast, I'll tell you that. It's up to me now to make sure this voice is 110%, because the Area 500 is going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm John Ramos. I want to say thank you to all the viewers that tuned on in. Pit reporter Hunter Sleppy doing a great job helping us out, and we'll see you guys once again either this Friday for NR Night in America or a week from today, that being March 3rd on a Monday, for the Area 500.